We don't know. We don't know how long the immunity really is going to last. We think the immunity could be long, 90 days, but we don't know that. So, okay, so you go and have Clemson football players have COVID-19. They got it in June, okay? In June. So what's 90 days? June, July, August. So come September, October, they're playing football. Guess what they can get again? They can get COVID-19. So, that's this whole point. And you could say that it's safer for these college football players to play where they have doctors and they're around, people who are there who are going to take care of them. You're right. That's true. It is safe for them to be around doctors and medical professionals until they go to a frat party on Friday night or they go to an off-campus house party on a Saturday night. Then what do you do? There's no doctors around. There's no bubble. There's no safety mechanisms in place there. That's the problem. These kids are kids. They're going to have fun. They're going to party. They're going to go out. And college football is, because of kids being kids, I just don't see it. Just don't see it lasting the season. You can try. It's great to try. Just don't see it succeeding going through a whole season. Just my opinion. More to come on a Tuesday's Push the Odds.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
You can paint this with purple.
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
Hello everyone, welcome in to Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here in the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington, 1250, 930. We're on PR927FM.com. You can stream us there. We are on Facebook Live and YouTube Live as well. You can check out today's show there. As got a lot to get to. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we will talk to WITN Sports Director Billy Weaver, go over the stories of the day, talk about what's going on at ECU here locally and also beyond. Also at 3:30, we'll talk some Pirate basketball and what's going on in the world of sports with Seymour. I've not talked to Cy in a while. We joked last week that we need a new segment on the show called Sci-Fi with Cy. I'm still not sure how that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. Coming up at 3:30 when we talk to the color analyst on the Pirates IMG Sports Network, Cy Seymour. Looking forward to that. At 4 o'clock, Ellerbe and I earlier today talked to Damon West. You may have heard him on the Pirate Radio podcast last week. Damon is an author, a motivational speaker, a former D1 quarterback, and we talk football on the field and off the field and everything surrounding college football. And we'll play that interview coming up for you in the 4 o'clock hour. And Stephen Igoe will join us in 2 hours. Who knows? Maybe we'll have some breaking news by then, as news travels fast these days. So we'll see what Igoe has to say coming up at 5 o'clock. Real quick, Shirley, I guess our news of the day, stuff you need to know. ECU is still on a pause when it comes to football, so no football practice going on right now as we speak, and we just hope that changes soon.
Yeah, hoping that we'll get some notification here sometime this week that they'll be able to get back on the field and get back to practice, because we're only a couple of weeks away from that Marshall game. Speaking of Marshall, it just came out a few minutes ago. Marshall has announced that they will allow fans at their home games, all of their home games.
Which brings up Brian North's hypothetical. If Marshall is willing to split the pot a little bit, give you some cash, do you play that game at Huntington? A lot of people say no. But it's a good question, I think. It
is a good question, and we'll see what Pirate Nation feels about it. I mean, you could put that out.
Yeah,
pose that
poll.
as a poll question.
Yeah, be a good poll question.
And speaking of pause, earlier today it was announced that NC State has paused their athletic activities as their testing numbers came back yesterday, and they had a couple of clusters pop up, so they have paused their athletic activities, and that may affect their schedule because their opener is against Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech. So it because of the way that their protocols are set up for contact tracing, that may get pushed back to September 26th. So we'll keep an eye on that as far as how that goes. And we do have one scheduling update, and that is...
I thought I was going to be able to get it in before you did.
Oh, wait.
No, go ahead.
No, you
I wanted to one-up Shirley because she's done an awesome job keeping up with all the schedule updates.
No, you tell me what you got.
I saw one 30 minutes ago, Shirley.
Okay, you tell me what you got, and I'll tell you if I've got it.
Okay, all right. I got UTEP versus Louisiana Monroe taking place September 26, 2020.
You have the one that I have.
I just saw it right before we got on air. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get one over on Shirley. It didn't happen.
It was on my list. See, look.
Once again, there you go. She's got the written document or documentation. Like the ebbs and flows, the good with the bad. You got the pausing going on. You've got games being added a month from now. Like, I don't know what to think. I'm trying to remain optimistic about it. I'm still feeling pretty good about football, but it's a little worrisome with these pauses and the talk of pushing games back, and do those games pushed back actually be played? More positive news with the Marshall news you just had. They're going to have fans, so it's a mixed bag every single day, and it's the same way coming on the air here today with you on Pirate Radio Live.
Yeah, and the question is, do all athletic departments have the same type of contact tracing protocols, or is it different for each school?
Right.
Because, and the reason why I asked that is because we are getting very close to that September 12th mark, and if we have to go through contact tracing protocols that's going to take a couple of weeks, well, that's just going to pretty much wipe out preparation time heading into September 12th. So then you have the question of, do we push it back? Do we not play the game at all? Do we put it on the back end? Where do you go with it?
Yeah.
So, that's the big question. So the sooner we can get back on the field, the better I'm going to feel about playing on September 12th.
You are absolutely right about that. All right, there's your kind of news of the day. We'll talk about that stuff as we go on throughout today's show. We'll try to hook up with Billy Weaver now. As we do, I will run down what's going on tonight. And, man, we have been blessed and spoiled with live NBA and NHL action pretty much all day, every day for about a month. Today was the first day we did not have that early NBA game. And only 2 games today on the docket. It'll be Nuggets and Jazz coming up tonight at 6:30 as the Jazz look to win that series 4-1. And also the Mavericks and the Clippers. What does Luka have for an encore after his game winner? That'll be tonight at 9 o'clock. That has been a really fun series. We got O's baseball for you tonight. Airtime 6:30, Shirley?
Actually, we're going to have an airing of the one of our Pirate Radio podcasts coming up tonight, and then we'll join the game in progress at the conclusion of that podcast.
What podcast do we have tonight?
Oh,
that's a good question, right?
Well, you
one that you weren't prepared for.
I was not prepared for because I hadn't even looked at it yet. But it's either going to be the F3 one or the Little League one.
Right,
I can't remember which one it is.
We'll tell you in a moment.
Yeah, we'll tell you in a few minutes.
So we'll join the O's Rays in progress coming up tonight.
Yes,
right here on Pirate Radio. Little Braves news. Ian Anderson makes his debut, and hey, Ian, you get to face Garrett Cole and the Yankees tonight. Good news for the Bravos. Ronald Acuna is back, and as we welcome, we got Weave on, Shirley. We'll welcome Billy Weaver on. His Mets taking on the Marlins tonight. Mets have been off for a while, right, Weave? Welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Glad to see that my Mets are going to be back. And I was kind of looking at the standings, too, when the Mets, I guess they missed 4 games. The weekend series against the Yankees would have been fun to watch, but nice that they're back on the field tonight against the Marlins. I think they start at 5:10 doubleheader. The tough thing about the Mets, though, with missing these games, is now they're going to have to play 9 games in the span of 6 days.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a little tough. But the good news with that is they can make up some ground. They're only 3 games back to the Braves in the East right now.
Hey, way to look at it positively, Weave. And on that note,
You have to when you're a Mets fan. You don't have a choice.
Major League Baseball is going to do all they can to get these games in. We've seen it with the Cardinals. They're playing a ton of doubleheaders, Weave. And that reminds me and I didn't plan on starting here. We'll get to ECU in just a moment, but I saw over the weekend that NASCAR has caught up to their regular schedule. It's like the COVID pause never happened for NASCAR, because now they are officially caught up. And man, kudos to that organization for getting in some midweek races, some double headers, and it's crazy to believe, Billy, that they are on schedule now for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, and I guess that when you don't have to deal with fans and all the outside issues that you have to deal with putting races on and stuff, and when you just go out there and go to the track and just the essential personnel and you go out there and race, and the doubleheaders, obviously, that's, something I had never really thought that I would see in NASCAR, and didn't really think that we would see midweek races either, but it's something that's been really cool. One of the good things that you can say about this crazy season in NASCAR, and yeah, they've caught up, and it doesn't seem to be affecting the drivers, which is what I thought would happen. But if you think about it, what they've done is they've taken away all the practices, all the qualifying, because, these guys were at the track Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, usually get there around Thursday. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're there and they're doing stuff. They're in and out of the cars all weekend in a typical race. But now that they've eliminated all that, they can actually run a couple races in the span of a week, and the drivers aren't just exhausted because they're used to being at the track so much. But now, instead of being at the track practicing and qualifying and doing, all these practice sessions, working on the cars and tinkering here, and they're in the race cars racing, which is what they like to do anyway. So it's actually worked out pretty decently for NASCAR.
Yeah, and great to see what they've been able to hear. It's been a lot of fun to follow as well. We are, NASCAR went through their pause. They have been able to catch up. ECU football currently in a pause right now, and we're just hoping and waiting for the word that they can get back on the field, Billy. And everybody I talked to yesterday on the show seemed to think that they could be back on the field this week. I don't know if that's wishful thinking or insight from what they've heard. How about you, Billy? What have you heard as far as ECU getting back on the field and when that might be?
Yeah, hopefully sometime this week. And, of course, it just all depends on how quick you get test results back and how, when you get those results back, if they're good results, and I don't want to say positive results, because obviously positive results are not good results.
You got to be careful with your words when you talk about that, right? Positive, negative,
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing when you get negative results, not positive results. So stay with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just all depends on the test results when they come back, and as long as they look like they've got things under control and there's not any clusters, what they're calling it now. I think ECU will be back on the field sometime later this week. But then again, we're in a situation where they could be back for a week, and then there's another outbreak, or there's another a couple of people test positive. So you just never know, and that's the weird thing about this, is that at any given time you could be shut down, and that's what's really tough about this. These guys, they're not able to really get into a rhythm and kind of get on a good schedule. And anybody that knows anything about football, and especially football coaches like regiment. They really do. And there's a reason for that. And that's just really tough in a situation like this, when you can't be on the field day to day and week to week and have the exact same schedule. So that's the tough part of it.
Billy Weaver joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. We talked about the kind of the stories of the day. It just came out that Marshall will be able to have fans in the stands this year, and I can't remember if I've asked you this or not, but we'll bring it up again now that it is official that Marshall can have fans. It's the Brian North question. I'll give him credit for it. What if Marshall could have fans, and they can? If they say, hey, East Carolina, we'll split the pot with you, give you a little cash if you come play this game in Huntington, and of course we'll make up the date in Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium another year. I don't know, is that something you look at if you're John Gilbert? Mike Houston might rather play in the friendly confines of Dowdy-Ficklin with no fans, but if there's money attached to it, I don't know, it's something ECU may be interested in. What do you think, Weave? Do you want the home field even if you have no fans, or would you rather go play on the road with a little atmosphere and get a little money out of the deal?
Well, let me tell you what, this is a very easy one for me because I've been on the road with East Carolina plenty of times when they've gone to UAB and Tulane and there's 5,000 people in a 70,000 seat stadium, and there's no energy. And East Carolina, if you're a football player, you want energy. It doesn't matter if it's negative energy or positive energy for you. If it's your home crowd cheering you on, or if it's 80,000 people cheering against you, you can still feed off. There are way too many times that I have been on the road with an East Carolina team that should have dominated and was much better than UAB and much better than Tulane, and they would go into those places and struggle because there was no atmosphere. I will take fans in the stands any day. So if that answers your question, that's my take.
I don't know how many guys and you've heard it too, I'm sure, have said over the years, ECU football players, that they would rather play in Blacksburg at Lane Stadium than at UAB, with no fans.
Absolutely.
They'd rather be getting jeered and can barely hear than to hear everything. Which in one case you get it, in another it's like, wow, really? Can't you concentrate more? But no, that adrenaline, that atmosphere, it's part of the game. It's part of what they're used to. And I don't know how many times I've heard that from players over the years that echo what you just said just then.
Well, all you have to do is look at some of the results of some of the most memorable games in ECU's history. I mean, they went up, they beat Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. They went down to Miami and won down in Miami. And those were hostile environments. And you can even argue at Bank of America Stadium, that great game on the block kick by TJ Lee against Virginia Tech at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. If you remember, there were a lot of West Virginia fans at that game. And that's the thing, is if you're a football player, you want some sort of environment. So I just don't like the fact of playing in front of zero fans. I mean, I understand it, and I understand that it's going to have to happen, and it's going to happen to probably a lot of football teams across the country, where they're going to be playing home games in front of no fans. And I hate that for the players because it's basically what they feel like is a glorified scrimmage, and that's what it looks like on the field. So, if there was that opportunity to move that game to Huntington, and maybe it does depend on how many people are there as well. Did they have said how many people will be allowed there? Because, I mean, if it's 5,000 fans, I was just talking about going to UAB and going to Tulane and places like that where you're playing in front of 5,000 fans. Unless you can get a significant amount of fans in the stands, I don't know if it'd be worth it.
That's a good point, and that's some information you need to make your final answer. But yeah, I agree with you. If there is an atmosphere, as a player, I know they want to be a part of it. As a coach and Mike Houston, not sure, but just an interesting question. And here was my question of the week, Weave, that I put out on Twitter, and the results went the opposite way I would have voted. But we'll see what you say. I said, Billy, I have a button that you can press that will guarantee a normal college football season with all the teams and all the crowds and all the bands and everything. The only catch is that ECU would be coached by John Thompson and Scotty Montgomery as co-head coaches. Would you push the button? There were over 300 votes, almost 400 votes. 75% said no. They would not push the button. They would rather have no football than bad football. Me, as somebody who tries to watch every single college game, obviously I would vote yes on that. I'll suffer through a bad ECU year to get all the other football and to get all the pregame shows in fifth quarters. But how about you, Billy? Would you? And you're looking at it from a media perspective. Would you want to cover an awful football season if it meant you got to watch other football games? What do you think?
No, man, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. Those John Thompson and Scotty Montgomery years they were not fun. They really were not. So I think I have to go with the majority on this.
Okay,
one,
all right,
and give a no answer. I did see that poll question on Twitter, and it kind of made me think. And I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, there's something to be said about atmosphere and bands and the tailgating and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, what's the most important thing when it comes to sports? Winning.
And
it's all about winning. It's all about the W's and the L's, man. So. I think most people would take the wins over the atmosphere. That's for sure.
Yeah, am I just? like conditioned to losing, Billy, and I don't mind it anymore. I mean, we're both Washington football team fans too, which, by the way,
I was about to say that we're used to that if you're a Washington fan. Right now I am in a long form fantasy draft where we're drafting via text. So, some picks take 2 hours, some take 20 minutes, but I'm finally getting back into that a little bit. Starting to check in on what's going on around NFL teams and things, but I still feel really far removed from NFL, from Washington, from it all. Just, I guess there's no preseason, and there's so much other sports on right now that it's amazing. We're only, a couple weeks away from Chiefs and Texans on Thursday night, and then you got Skins and, Washington and Eagles that Sunday, along with the full slate. But I don't know, Billy, for whatever reason, it's like out of sight, out of mind for me. How about you when it comes to the NFL? Yeah, and I think you hit it on the head with so much other stuff going on, with other sports going on right now, and with no preseason, that has a lot to do with it. And I think, the thing is, fans, for the most part, don't like preseason games because of the fact that, especially season ticket holders, they don't want to have to pay for a product that they really could do with or without. With that being said,
and another one too, Billy, on that, the injuries. And I know injuries can happen in practice, but when they happen in a meaningless game, it really irks me. That's why I've been opposed to preseason, and now I'm screaming on the mountaintops I miss my preseason football. So that's where I'm at.
Now, see, those are all the reasons not to want preseason, and the players. It's obvious, especially the players that have roster spots. They don't care about preseason. They don't want to get hurt. They don't want to be out there either. But with that being said, it does kind of lead you up into the preseason and kind of builds the anticipation. So I think without the preseason, there's no build-up to the NFL season this year, and I think that's what's missing.
Yeah, I agree with you. And again, there are other things to cover in the world of sports. Unfortunately, no high school sports for a little while, Weave. And, really miss seeing you and all my friends on TV on Friday night with the high school football highlight shows. And going to have to push those back to 2021, I guess. But, what were you doing on Friday night, Weave, when you were supposed to be hosting and watching highlights? Did you kind of think about it like that? I feel like I should be somewhere else right now. What were you doing on Friday night?
Yeah, it's been a little weird having Friday nights. Basically, the Friday nights in the fall basically off because you're not, and that's the thing is I find myself not doing nearly as much during the week either because, what a lot of people don't know, what Brian North can tell you and what Brian Bailey can certainly tell you as well, is that, people don't realize how much preparation work throughout the week during a high school football season, how much prep work goes into putting that show together during the week. So it's kind of surreal, especially after now, all three of us, we've been in it for so long. Bailey, obviously the longest, over 30 years, I think. And, I've been at WITN 22 years. And I think Brian North got to CTI the same time I did. So you think 20 plus years for all of us of doing, the same thing every year, getting prepared and, kind of, hitting our stride about this time of the year, and now just nothing. So it's a little bit weird, and I think it's going to be even more weird once we get into the spring and we're talking about football and doing shows during the spring. That's going to be the weird part, I think.
Billy Weaver joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. He is a white boy in honor of Montrezl Harrell.
Hey, I was wondering if you were going to bring that up.
Montrezl getting in the news this week. Luka went off after the comment. First, he had an injury and came back and hit a game winner. And him and Montrezl played makeup. But I hadn't really talked about it. And as somebody that, played basketball, just like pick up and stuff like that, and was on a team, back in the day, like you get called a white boy on the court because you're not expected to do as well as the others on the court. And when you do, it's a good feeling. But Again, if the roles are reversed, obviously, and Luka says you're a whatever black boy, then
Right.
yeah, I mean it becomes a big issue. But I do also, hope people know that on the court and in real life, if things are said like that, it's two totally different things. Montrezl Harrell probably shouldn't go around calling every white dude white boy, especially in 2020. But I don't know. I'm not going to make a huge deal out of it. And again, I do agree with people that say if it was reversed, it'd be a monster deal. It'd be everywhere. Everybody would have to talk about it. But I don't know. What did you make of the situation and the fallout from it?
Yeah, I'm kind of on both sides of the fence because I've played my fair share of pickup basketball games. I used to play 3 times a week pickup basketball game. And, of course, there's a lot of stuff, especially in the heat of the battle, that's said on the court. But there are some things that kind of cross the line, and especially in this day and age and with the climate that we're in right now, that's something that Montrez should not have said. I just wish that the NBA would have at least made some sort of a statement. Now, whether or not, and I think to be honest with you, I think there should be a fine involved.
Yeah.
At least something from the NBA to make it known that that's not acceptable.
Because now what they've done is said, it's okay, we'll let the players kind of deal with it themselves, type of thing.
Right.
So
then what's going to happen when something else happens that's even worse?
Exactly.
And then are you going to let the players handle it then again too? So
right.
I think, I don't think it should be a major fine or major suspension or anything like that. But I think the NBA does need to come out and make some sort of a statement. And just to let everybody know that this is not acceptable and the NBA is not going to accept this again. And that if it does happen again, that maybe there is a harsher penalty.
Yeah.
But, the one thing, and like you said, sometimes I would be curious to hear Larry Bird's perspective on this, because I can only imagine some of the things he was called and how many times that reference was made towards him.
Well, was it Isaiah or Rodman? One backed the other. Maybe it was Rodman who said it first and Isaiah agreed with it, and because it was Isaiah, it was a big deal, but they basically said if he was black, he'd just be an average player. So, I mean, it's been going on forever, and Larry Bird, went through it. Larry Bird, also known as one of the best trash talkers ever. So, this
is very true. He would give it back.
No, you're right. It would be interesting to say, hey, Larry, tell us all the times you were called a B.A. white boy on the court.
Right. Or you ain't got no game, white boy, or something like that. Because, I've heard that. I've heard that before just in pickup basketball games. Yeah. And it's something you just kind of let slide off your back, and it's not a big deal. But the funny thing to me is that, I like Montrez, and I think he's a very good basketball player. But the bottom line is he's not Luka Doncic. He's not. This kid's 21 years old, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Well, Luka's best payback was what he did in the game, right?
Absolutely. And that, that's the best part. That's the best part is let the trash talkers talk trash, go out and play your game and show them on the court. And that's exactly what Luka's done. So I think he's got the better end of this whole deal for sure.
No doubt, and looking forward to tonight because, I don't know, the Clippers, their backs aren't against the wall. It's 2-2, but they're a big favorite not only to win the series, but to win the West.
Right.
And
you know what? This may backfire on Montrez and be worse than actually having a fine or being suspended, because you might have woken up a monster. Because usually guys like that, like Luka, and I'm not putting him in the same category as a Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Magic Johnson.
Not yet.
But those types of players, those competitive players, and the ones that are really, really good, use that as motivation. All you had to do was watch the Michael Jordan documentary, and he always looked for something like that. You say something like that to Michael Jordan, and you just better watch out the next game.
He probably heard you say something at the Michael Jordan Golf Classic 30 years ago, and is still using it as motivation.
I know, right? So, sometimes you don't want to poke the bear, and I think Montrez may have done just that.
Man, Luka is a special talent. That's coming up tonight at 9. Chan Man ready for some Donovan Mitchell action coming up before that as he and Jamal Murray lit it up. It's been fun watching these guys and these young stars in the NBA. We've always enjoyed the chat, man. Have a great rest of your week. We'll catch up with you. I think, this isn't, out there yet, but I think Troy D might be planning on a little press box Zoom at some point. So it'd be fun to get you and Bailey and the guys together once again. I miss the press box.
Yeah, it would be. It's something that's been, I think, long overdue, and maybe we need to get that done for sure.
Yes, sir. All right, Weave. Thank you, man.
All right, man.
Billy Weaver, WIT and Sports Director, joining us to kick off a Tuesday edition of the Sports Bar. We'll stick to the basketball talk and the ECU talk with Cy Seymour, one of my favorites, coming up on the other side. We will talk to Cy about what Joe Dooley and his team have been up to since the ECU Athletics hiatus. See if he's following hoops in the NBA and sci-fi with Cy. Shirley, I still don't know what that means. We're just going to ask him if he likes sci-fi.
Why not?
This is episode 1 of Sci-Fi with Cy.
Out of all the times that we've had Cy on the show, I don't think anyone has ever asked him that question.
I guarantee nobody's asked him that question.
We shall be the first.
All right, we will do that when we return after this.
Feeling the heat? Then get out of the kitchen. Jersey Mike's has you covered all summer with fresh cold sliced subs. Perfect for parks, picnics, and patios. Order through our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. This summer, may your days be long, your cannonballs large, and your subs giant. Order Jersey Mike's for your next backyard adventure. Just use our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rate may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's turn a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
Let me tell you a thing or two about the people who don't compromise. For starters, they love a nice, cold Pepsi Zero Sugar. Why? Because it's delicious, it's refreshing, and it has zero sugar. How's that for not compromising? They're the sort of person that likes surf with their turf. Because who decided beef shouldn't have a buddy? And a drink with their feast? Yeah, they have a Pepsi Zero Sugar. The person who doesn't compromise loves a good golden doodle. All the golden retriever goodness with just a hint of doodle. No compromises there. Oh, and when they're bringing said golden doodle for a walk, they bring a Pepsi Zero Sugar. They're the kind of person jorts were made for. 50% jeans, 50% shorts, 100% the most comfortable thing that's ever graced your wardrobe. Not compromising never looked so good. So crack open a Pepsi Zero Sugar and taste what it's like to have it all. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero sugar done right. That's what I like.
Introducing new Domino's Carside Delivery. Now when you carry out, you don't even need to leave your car. So you don't have to interrupt your favorite song.
It's time to drive down to the rock show.
Or interrupt your kid's favorite song.
We'll be friends just for one.
You can interrupt this.
Try Domino's Carside Delivery when you carry out 3 topping pizzas for $7.99 each, and we'll carry out your order to your car contact-free. Carry out only. You must ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, and charges may vary. Excludes XL and specialty pizzas. Crust availability varies by size. Message and data rates may apply when using Domino's Carside Delivery.
This is former ECU baseball player and mayor of Greenville, PJ Connolly, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. When your AC needs repair or replacing, call on the reliable service professionals of Delcor Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Go to DelcorInc.com or give them a call at 252-321-8868. Delcor, the service professionals in Greenville. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Clip, I do have one little update for you. The 49ers have announced that they will have no fans for week 1. So there's your fan update. And Cincinnati just announced that they gave head football coach Luke Fickell a contract extension that runs through 2026 and is $3.4 million per year.
Luke Fickell getting it done on the field and now feeling it in the checkbook, too. Well done.
Yeah,
Luke Fickell.
3.4 mil. That's not bad.
We'll see if he's there to complete all of that contract. Welcome back into the program, and we got more ECU talk on the way in the 5 o'clock hour with Stephen Igoe. We're going to hook up with Damon West. Ellerbe and I actually talked to him earlier today. You'll hear that interview from the motivational speaker, author, and former D1 quarterback, as we'll talk college football coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Right now, we'll talk college hoops and more with Seymour, who joins us on the Fixed NC Live line. Cy, you always are Mr. Positivity. You put a smile on my face, and we need you on the show, Cy. We need some positivity in today's world. So thank you for joining us.
Oh, man, I'm ready. Listen, I'm fired up and ready. When I hear Shirley, I know, and Clip, I know both of you, we're starving. we need sports.
We need them. We do. We need college sports.
We do.
How are you feeling about that, by the way? You know, ECU football on a pause right now, basketball and other sports practicing as we speak, which is a good thing. But how do you feel about a fall football season? There's a game scheduled this weekend between Austin Peay and Central Arkansas, and I'm going to watch every second of it if it airs and when it airs. Are you feeling optimistic, Si, about football this fall?
The truth is, and I'll just be honest with you, the older I get, what I really am concerned about are players and kids and students. I really am. And as much as I want it, and I do want it, it's going to be so inconsistent. It's going to be nuts. I don't know how you do it. That's my point. I just don't see how it can be done. And I want to do it. I do. I love every play of it. But I just don't see how it can be done. I mean, I'm just thinking about, you get it on a weekend and you don't have your quarterback. So an offensive lineman that gives it to 2 other offensive linemen, and everybody doesn't have offensive linemen. No one has depth to the offensive line. All of a sudden, a 6'2" guy that weighs 190 is playing your right tackle. I don't see how. But good luck if they can figure a way. But I always go with student safety and I know football's a tough game, but I think the North Carolina chancellor said it right. He just didn't understand how quick it could spread.
Yeah.
And that's a concern.
Yeah, and you've seen what the NBA and NHL have been able to do, and to put on great events and really entertaining sports for us to watch, and kudos to them, and they've done it safely because they've been able to keep everybody inside, and it's just not possible. We've seen what baseball's trying to do, and I think they've done a great job for the most part to get all these games in, but we've seen the outbreaks. We've seen a lot of teams miss time. Now we're going to see a whole lot of doubleheaders from the Cardinals and the Mets and Yankees and other teams, so it kind of shows you the difference of what happens when you can control it and everybody be in one area, and what happens when you kind of let everybody go on the outside and how things can get a little tricky there.
And these are kids. I mean, these are 21, 19, 18-year-olds. That's what they do. And that, as much as we think it's very, very difficult, and I admire John Gilbert and his staff for what they're trying to do, it's just very difficult. And you have to be supportive here. This is not a time to point fingers. This is a time to say, look, we're with you guys. This is a tough situation. And I think that's how you have to play it. But, look, makes no difference. We love the sports. We love what it means. And it will occur again. We just don't know when. We will be playing sports. And we just can't wait.
Seymour joining us. Let's talk about on the court. We talked to ECU women's head basketball coach Kim McNeil a couple of weeks ago on the show, and she said something that kind of stuck with me. She said that her team went from the youngest team in the country to maybe the most experienced team in the country in a year, and I think you could say the same for Joe Dooley's team. We're not used to seeing this many returners on a basketball team, and he's bringing in some talent to go with those returners. But how nice is it for you, Si, to go through an offseason where you don't really have to do much research? You know most of these guys on the team, right?
Yeah, we know these guys, and the great thing too is that what we've seen usually when you see guys from their freshman year to their sophomore year, a year of experience adds 2 to 3 points to their scoring average or to their play. Well, when you got 9 guys back, it can't be that much, or 10 guys back, but you're going to see. You're going to see much better play out of these kids. I always say with JUCOs, when they come in, it takes them until almost February 1st to get used to it, and the season's almost ending. And you saw J.J. Miles get better last year. You saw him just improve. And Lucci's coming back. That's a big deal to get that young man back. So, and then never forget, if you're good inside and out, it's going to help you. You're having Jaden Gardner back, who's a tough guy inside, and you have a tremendous guard back in Tristan Newton, who is 6'5", that can play the 1, 2, and both of them made all-conference. Both of them are that kind of player on the all-conference freshman team and on the first team. These guys can play. So you've got a good nucleus, and you've got good parts around it. Now, can you get a season in? And the worst thing that could happen, and it probably will happen, is you don't get to play the preseason games, because that's something, if you're Joe Dooley, you really look forward to, is the preseason. And then you add Farrakhan, Quazza. You got guys. I mean, there's so many good players.
And when you add a Farrakhan, and hopefully that game translates to D1 basketball, and I think it will, but even if it doesn't, side that other recruits around the country kind of look and say, wait, he's going to ECU. Maybe we should take the Pirates a little seriously. And that has led to, I think, some other commits that Joe Dooley has picked up this offseason.
Listen, make no bones about it. Felton could have gone a lot of places. I was on the phone with the staff yesterday, and this kid is a 6'4" player. He had VCU on him, but the people don't understand. Don't take it light. Florida and Georgia were in there wanting that kid. I mean, I'm telling you, they were in there, and you got to give credit to the coaching staff. George Easy went to Coach and said, hey, look, we got to get this kid. He wants to come. And one of the reasons he wanted to come, he saw Farrakhan was on the team, and he said, I want to be a guard with him.
Yeah,
so that's what happens. It gets that way. And his other 2 recruits, now this is for the next year, Dre Watson's a player, Mosher's a player. This kid's coming in that I think it's been a tremendous recruiting year for East Carolina, and you got to give credit to the staff. I mean, they have really worked it hard, and I think because Rock has been everywhere. He's just a good coach. I mean, he and Joe Dooley, they're great. Now, we lost a good man in Chilius, but we picked up a good man in Antoine Jackson.
I was going to bring that up, too, Si. I had Coach Jackson on the show a couple of weeks after he got here, and really enjoyed the chat with him. And, you love to keep a good staff together, right, Si? We saw what happened when Tim Kraft went to Gardner-Webb, and he's having all that success as a head coach. You hate to lose Coach Chills, but, man, bringing Antoine Jackson in, and you mentioned George Wright Easy, and we'll talk to Steve Roccaforte on the show tomorrow. He'll join me here inside the Pirate Radio studios, but those guys are, even those there's not a whole lot of face-to-face these days, they're still getting it done on the recruiting trail.
Exactly. And Jackson, his resume, of course, he was at Virginia Tech, but he was with Derek Kellogg over at UMass. Now, you got to understand, when Kellogg was at Memphis, he's one of the guys that got the players at Memphis. So Derek takes the job at UMass. We go up there to play him. This young man, Antoine Jackson, is one of his recruiters. We go into UMass, and they beat our brains in, and they had unbelievable talent. And Derek Kellogg will tell you what made us successful was the recruiting of Antoine Jackson. Mick Cronin at Cincinnati. The only reason he didn't go with him to UCLA was he said, I needed a West Coast guy. But Joe Dooley, he said, Joe, you won't go wrong getting this guy. So you got a real good recruiter, a real sharp guy. You got Rock. You got Coach Dooley, who is unbelievable, and you got George Wright Easy. It's a very good staff, so you got to be proud of what they're doing.
My main takeaway from my Antoine Jackson interview, Si, was when he said that Mick Cronin actually smiled every now and then and had a sense of humor. I couldn't believe that. And that reminds me, you need to write a book or sit down and just talk on the air for a couple hours about all your experiences with these weird, wacky coaches you've come across in all your years, yourself included, Si. You're one of those weird coaches.
Right. Exactly. Oh man, they are something else now. I'm telling you. But let me tell you what they all are. You know them. You know the Joe Dooleys. These are Type A guys that are ready to go. What do you think it's doing to them, this pandemic?
Oh man. Yeah. And Si, you haven't, I don't know if you've been able to be around with all the restrictions and everything. You said you were on the phone with the staff, but man, they had to be fired up when they can get back in the gym and sit. All I've seen is still shots, pictures, and all the kids are smiling. Joe Dooley, he's not smiling that much, but I know he's happy to be out there coaching his guys. They got to be feeling good right now.
No doubt about it. And listen, that's where your staff has to be good. I look up at this staff, and everybody, from Sylvie Dominguez, who's really good at what he does, Dennis DeMacy, Kyle Robinson, Denny's the strength coach, Nate Clark. These guys get it done with me. I'm just telling you. Derek's hard to beat, and so is Kyle. So I mean, these guys, behind-the-scene guys, are really, really good guys at what they do to keep the momentum. And their energy levels are unbelievable. Their knowledge of the game is unbelievable. And it's a real treat to go along with the other coaches. These guys are really good complimentary guys. And at the head of it, don't make any bones about it, Joe Dooley's one of the best in the business.
Obviously, Si, the schedule and the season's going to look different this year, but Shirley had brought up yesterday the NCAA was kind of, throwing some stuff against the wall on when there could be a start to a college basketball season, and they do have a few plans to potentially have that happen starting in 2020, later in the year. That'd be a good thing, but as of right now, if you go to ECUPirates.com, there's no basketball schedule, Si, and with the way they have shuffled around all these football schedules, I don't know when we're going to see a basketball schedule, but that's another thing too. What are these players preparing for? And yes, they're preparing for their next season, but when is that season? And I don't know. We're I guess going to take care of football first, side, and then get to hoops. But that's something I'm kind of interested in as to when we'll see these guys actually back on the court. And will it be 2020? Will it be early winter, early 2021 during the winter? I don't know, but hopefully, like you said, with football, we'll see these guys back on the court soon.
Yeah, and it goes back to it's a virus, and it's very tough to handle. It's unpredictable, and with young people, it's spread, or with anyone, it's been spreading like wildfire. And if you're asymptomatic, it's really difficult. I'm telling you, it's a very, very difficult situation. For example, if you had a child and he's in school, you worry about where this is headed and what it's doing. So give credit to all these guys that are, and ladies, all the administrators, men, women, they're all trying to do their best they can. This should not be a time of pointing fingers at guys and saying this is wrong and you got to play. You've got to do the best you can in your organization, and that's what this staff and administration from all over the country, that's what they're trying to do. And we've got to support what their decisions are.
That's a good message from Cy Seymour, and I hope everybody can take away that message today. Cy, how about pro sports? I've been really enjoying the NBA bubble. I hate to see the Hurricanes fall out of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I've been watching my Braves. How about you? How much of the pro sports have you been watching on the weekends or weeknights?
I love the playoffs.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying every bit of it.
And something about that, Cy, and you can speak to this too, that, Minges gets rocking. It's an awesome place. I've been very impressed with the way the guys have been so intense, and I thought they might need fans to get intense, but they don't. I mean, they're out there. It looks like, if you can kind of ignore the virtual fans, it looks like a real playoff basketball with the way the guys are playing out there.
They're pros. And pros, they take it to a different level in the playoffs. The things they do, the different sets they run, they're so fast. Their level of play is ridiculous. And to watch what they do is just a treat. It is to me, because, and you know this, we watch it a lot, and to see pro athletes, what they can do. When that kid hit the jumper the other day for 43 points, hit the fall-away jumper, Luka, that was unbelievable. I mean, look, don't think they didn't know he was going to get the ball and he's going to take the shot, and he still got it off. I mean, it's crazy how good all of these guys are,
yeah.
And it's a treat. And like you're saying, pro baseball, they're playing hard. These guys, they're just pros, and I'm proud of Harold Varner. What he's done,
yeah.
I mean, I'm watching every time he hits it. I'm pulling for that guy. And he's a tough player, a tough competitor, and you can see he's getting more comfortable being a pro. But Dustin Johnson the other day showed you that you are pros, and you take it to him. I mean, what he did the other day at minus 30 with no fans, nobody there, nobody to spur him on, he just ripped it all day long. And I guess that's what pros do. But that's why I love the college game, because kids at home can really make a difference. And that's what I hate about all this.
Yeah.
North Carolina, I know, has been talking about maybe having 5,000 at their football games, but they don't know. None of them know what they're going to do. It's been a tough situation for all of them.
Yeah,
but I like where we're headed in basketball.
Yeah, yes, sir. And a couple more things. How about the Washington football team? How are you still a Washington football team fan, Si?
Listen, let me tell you, I love Marty Fuhrer. Marty's the sideline guy for the Pirates in football.
Yep.
And I said, he is a really, really good sideline reporter. And he is great as a high school soccer official, one of the best. But I haven't yet converted him from the Philadelphia Eagles to the Washington Redskins. I try on every call, and I'm not getting anywhere with Marty. So, yes, I'm a diehard Redskin fan, but I feel sorry for Marty because he hasn't made the conversion yet to the Redskins.
Well, maybe he will after week one, Si. That's the matchup. But how amazing was it when you saw Alex Smith back at practice? Isn't that crazy?
Oh, my gosh. I don't want him to do it. I'm scared for him.
Yeah.
I really am. I mean, that's too.
Si Seymour joining us. You're breaking up a little bit, Si, but
I'm sorry.
There you are. There you go. We got you back. All right. Before we let you go, Stephen Igoe and I don't know how we got here. We were talking during a break, and I said, what would be an awesome segment on Pirate Radio Live? Sci-fi with Si. So Si, I don't know how this is even going to go. I guess I'll just throw it out there. Are you a Star Wars, Star Trek, sci-fi guy, Si?
Yeah, that's a great thing to ask. I watched the early Star Wars. Not really into the Star Wars guys.
Okay.
I'm a Bond guy. I like Bond. I'm not into it. I hate to say that.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, it's terrible to say that, but I'm not into it as much. It's sad. But one more thing, Marty. Clip.
Yeah.
Something about Marty.
Yeah.
I like our walk-ons. I think our walk-ons are really good, and I know Joe Dooley likes these kids. They are going to, he says they're leaders. They get out there and work hard. So these young guys that he has brought in, Kelly's going to help us, and also Dylan Blake. Those guys, guys are workers, and they've been leaders and been well coached, and look forward to those guys too. All the walk-ons.
All right. Much like sci-fi takes a twist. I ask about sci-fi, and Cy talks about walk-ons. So maybe that's what sci-fi with Cy is all about. You take us on a journey, Cy, a twist. Cy, you're the man. I'm telling you, you bring a smile to my face. Shirley and Chandler are in there smiling right now, and everybody listening to this as well. So just great to hear your voice, catch up with you, and we'll do it again down the road with you and talk more basketball, Cy. I always enjoy it, man.
Well, you guys, listen, I love what you do. You support these Pirates, and I'm excited about our basketball. I just don't know when we're going to do it, but I know Tim, Shirley, and you. I love the way we talk. Call me anytime you can talk.
You're the man. Thank you, Cy. Appreciate it. There's Cy Seymour joining us on the Fixed NC Live line. Sci-Fi with Cy.
Well, see, he said he was a Bond guy. I was going to try to see if I could get him to do his Bond impression, but using his name.
All right, we'll save that for next interview. Cy Seymour. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1, get you set for hour number 2. We also got to open up the booty bag, Shirley, in the 5 o'clock hour.
That's right. And look, we've got a couple of updates for you while I'm thinking about it. Bills just announced that no fans for the first 2 home games in Buffalo.
Sorry to all you crazy Buffalo tailgaters.
Sorry, Bills Mafia. You're not going to be able to see a game. And this tweet came out a little while ago. Glenn brought this to my attention. Lincoln Riley had tweeted out that he had a position group essentially wiped out by a COVID test. So he's lost an entire position group. He doesn't say which one, but it's one that he says requires multiple players on the field. That's all he said.
Okay.
But that's one of the risks that we have to kind of keep an eye on. Yeah,
Cy was getting to there, and
Coach Houston's even said it before.
Yeah,
he said, let's say, for example, you have somebody in your offensive line, test positive, then you run the risk of losing the entire offensive line.
Yeah.
So that's something that is going to be a hot button issue heading into the season and throughout the season, really.
Chandler, keep your phone on. Chandler is a former long snapper and may get the call this year. He's wearing the I see it as like the Skip Holtz era.
I call it the Skip Holtz hat.
It's the Skip Holtz hat.
Yep.
East Carolina football. And Chan,
I don't even have mine anymore.
You still got some eligibility, right? So yeah,
absolutely.
You could be on the field this year.
Hey, I'm just waiting for the call. They just got to dial my number. That's it.
Cy loves walk-ons.
Or contact the studio. We'll get a hold of Chandler if you need to.
Yeah. Call 317-1250, and you can work out right here in the back parking lot. All right, we'll take a time out live after this.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a 2-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
In studio today with Dr. Shondell Jones from Kinetic Physical Therapy. How can you help people with back pain?
Well, most people are going to have back pain at some point during their life, but you don't have to live with it. A bad MRI or a bad x-ray does not mean you're destined to always have pain. We have specialists that are well trained to find out what the true problem is and the true source of your pain so they can get you on track to feeling better. So don't suffer with back pain. Our nationally board certified specialists are here to help you. To learn more, visit us at kptonline.com. We can help you live well, move more, and hurt less.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, takeout, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Hey, this is Chef Dave Finelli. Have you got $60 extra a week or just got $60 a week? I can feed you dinner 6 nights a week for total $60. Maybe you haven't heard about this, my Heart Healthy Home Meals. I give you 6 meals a week. You pick them up at Pops. It's $60 a week. I guarantee you go out to eat one time, you spend more than $60. I guarantee you, if you go to the grocery store one time, you spend more than $60. And then you still got to tip, and then you still got to cook and prep and worry. Forget all that. I got you. $60 a week. Let me know. I'm right there at Pops. You know how to reach me.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with the quality pre-owned car, truck from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust in our team to improve your vehicle's off-road experience. Give us a call for more information, 252-364-8730. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bill's Fork.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
This is Brian Bailey, host of The Brian Bailey Show, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Quality Equipment is your full-service John Deere dealer with 27 locations to serve you. Quality Equipment is open in Winterville next to Sam's Club, or you can visit qualityequip.com to find the location near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1, heading into hour number 2. Fun hour 1 with Billy Weaver and Seymour coming up. Later on, we got Stephen Igoe, and coming up in hour 2, we've got Damon West, and you can, of course, hear his podcast interview with Ellerbe, or you can hear him coming up on Pirate Radio Live, as we had a chance to talk to him earlier today. Very energetic, enthusiastic guy when it comes to college football and what's going on in the world, and we got that interview coming up on the way. Kind of recapping, Shirley, our top stories. NC State pausing their football activities, just like East Carolina. We're awaiting ECU to get back on the field. We'll have more with that with Stephen Igoe coming up in hour number 3. Marshall will allow fans at football games this year. You said that the 49ers in the NFL not going to allow fans for, what did you say, their first 2 games?
No, that would be for the Bills. The 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings both will not have fans, at least for week 1.
And the Bills will not have fans
for the first 2 home games.
There you go. Okay, so there's some news regarding fans and who's playing, who's not playing. We had a schedule update, another game scheduled. It was UTEP and Louisiana Monroe, who are going to play on the 26th. And by the way, I saw a line. We'll talk to Wager McGee coming up on Wednesday. I saw a line for the Saturday night game between Austin P and Central Arkansas. Central Arkansas, a 3.5-point favorite against Austin P on Saturday night, a game that we're all going to watch and that we're going to preview relentlessly coming up Friday right here on Pirate Radio Live. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We will hear from Damon West, as Ellerbe and I had a chance to talk to him just an hour or so ago. And you will hear that interview when we return on Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Troy D. Proud to be co-founder and one of the owners and operators of Pirate Radio. As we launch into our 18th year in business, we have a lot of exciting news to share. Our afternoon drive show, PRL, Pirate Radio Live, has a new look and is now streaming live every day from our brand new digital studio from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can find us on our Pirate Radio YouTube page and our Facebook page, plus our website, pr927fm.com. If you're in your car, put us on 92.7 FM in Greenville or 104.1 FM in Washington. The new and improved 3-hour PRL is hosted by Clip Rock and Shirley Rhodes and will feature the latest breaking news, awesome guests, and your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like The Voice Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igoe, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, plus Ellerbe and myself. Give us a follow on social media at PR927FM and get the latest programming updates, guest alerts, and breaking news. Thank you for your loyalty and your support, and we hope you enjoy the new and improved Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
My whole business just went up in flames, but my agent was there before the fire was out. We started a plan. I've got 25 employees who could be out of a job if we didn't get this place running again. My independent agent and auto owner's insurance, they made sure we didn't skip a beat. I mean, we didn't miss a single payroll. That's incredible.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
This is Brian Smith with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
If you are push mowing your yard using an inefficient lawn tractor, or your current zero-turn spends more time in the shop than mowing your grass, it's time you look at a Hustler zero-turn lawnmower. Residential mowers from Hustler are built like tanks and drive like sports cars. All Hustler mowers have fabricated, welded steel decks. Don't settle on cheap units with flimsy stamped decks from big box stores. Come see Ron Ayers Motorsports. It will guide you to the right mower for your property and your budget. Find us at Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville.
Then get out of the kitchen. Jersey Mike's has you covered all summer with fresh cold sliced subs. Perfect for parks, picnics, and patios. Order through our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above. This summer, may your days be long, your cannonballs large, and your subs giant. Order Jersey Mike's for your next backyard adventure. Just use our app for no contact pickup or delivery. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
White Claw Hard Seltzer. Discover a new wave of refreshment. Crafted using seltzer water, 5% alcohol, and a hint of fruit. Available in 5 fruit flavors, 2 grams of carbs, gluten-free, and 100 calories. Find it at whiteclaw.com. White Claw Hard Seltzer. Nothing tastes quite like it. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with natural flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, 2019 Chicago. Visit whiteclaw.com for full nutritional information.
Have you heard the news? Villa Verde is now available for dining in. That's right, both locations of Villa Verde are back open on the inside. And on top of that, the original location on 10th Street has been completely remodeled. But if you prefer curbside or takeout, that is still going strong too. Don't forget the Villa Verde family meal deals are a great way to feed your entire family at an affordable price.
This is Jay from Villa Verde, and we look forward to seeing you at one of our locations soon. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in Eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro. We are the professional office systems people.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, W224EI Greenville, WDLX Washington, and W281CH Washington. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, Clip, I have a quick scheduling update, and that is Pittsburgh has announced that they will host your boys Austin Peay September 12th as their season opener.
Let's go P.
I can't, I just can't get past that.
If you're not going to get on this P train, Shirley, then you can flush on out of here.
Wow.
Austin Peay is opening up the college football season this Saturday against Central Arkansas, and that'll technically be week 2 of the football season you were just talking about.
That's right.
The 12th, because this is week 0. Everybody stay with me. Take notes. But Austin Peay versus Pittsburgh, September 12th. That was your announcement.
That would be correct,
Thank you very much. All right, that is our second scheduling update of the day. We need one of those signs, like 0 days since the last incident. 0 days since there wasn't a scheduling update has been the case for the last 3 weeks. It's been awesome. The games keep getting added to fall 2020 for the football season. Let's talk some football now, as earlier today, Ellerbe and I had a chance to catch up with Damon West. You may have heard him on the Pirate Radio podcast. If not, he is an author, a motivational speaker, a former D1 quarterback, a former inmate. He's got a heck of a story, a heck of a resume, and loves talking football and what's going on surrounding football. And we had a chance to talk to him earlier today. Let's head out to the Fixed NC Live line, and you heard him on the Pirate Radio podcast just last week, and so good. We got to get him on Pirate Radio Live, talk more college football and life with Damon West. Ellerbe, it was awesome to hear him on the podcast, and ready to talk to him today on Pirate Radio Live.
Yeah, absolutely. The podcast and his books, The Coffee Bean and The Change Agent, were just a fascinating story for him to come on and tell us about it. But we wanted to have him back today because he's visited 4 college football teams in the past couple of weeks, which is just kind of unprecedented, talking about his story, telling it to these teams, but really kind of getting behind the scenes of what's going on in the world of college football at 4 different places. And Damon, welcome back to Pirate Radio. Appreciate you sharing some time with us today.
Guys, thanks a lot for having me, man. It's always such a treat to come on and hang out and talk sports with you guys. Listen, it's like we talked about the last time I was on. The world is a pot of boiling water right now, and you talk about a really contentious pot of boiling water is college football, guys. I mean, college football right now, so much has happened since we talked. Jonathan, I think when we talked last time, they hadn't even made the Big Ten hadn't even made the decision, and the Pac-12 hadn't even dropped out. This is a lot has happened, man.
Yeah, a lot happens in a 24-hour news cycle. Schools are being paused due to coronavirus. People are starting back. Let's get us up to speed. You went to East Carolina's in the American Athletic Conference, and you just got back from South Florida. That's the team East Carolina's scheduled to play in October. Tell us your experience there. Also, you went to Tennessee and Louisiana Lafayette, and I believe North Texas. What's it been like going on these college campuses, and in particular interacting with these college programs?
First of all, when you're talking about college football campuses, college football on campuses, I got to tell you guys, my wife is a nurse practitioner at a hospital, so she's around it all the time. So we have safety precautions, we mask up, and everybody, you control. Really, the only area you control in life is your house. You control who comes in and out of your house, and you can kind of regulate that. But going to these college football programs was even more control than I've seen even in people's homes, because to get inside of these facilities, man, they're checking your temperature, they're asking you how you feel, they want to know where you've been. You're not just walking into a facility or walking into their practice field. You've got to really jump through some hoops to get in there, and they do that because they're protecting what they've got. They've got an area of security. So we'll start with South Florida. Up until Saturday, when I was there Friday and Saturday, They've had 0 positive tests, I think, in the last month, and so they've done a really good job of keeping these guys informed. Look, and they've got distancing stuff they're doing at practices. These guys know about, being safe when they're out and limiting their interaction with other people. But as far as you being a stranger and coming out there, or even being a speaker coming out there, look, I mean, you're not just walking into those places. They're pretty secure.
Damon, when you go and what's your routine when you go and visit one of these schools? Obviously, they want you to speak and tell your story, talk about all the background stuff of being a former college football player, getting the life sentence in prison, all that. But then, how close can you get to these players and coaches, and what's your routine like when you go on campus?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I mean, look, so my routine, typically what I like to do is get out there with enough time to catch a practice, get out there with the quarterbacks and start chunking the ball, get the attention of like one of the coaches. Because, look, I can still chunk a ball about 65 yards, guys. I'll be 45 in October. But, man, I love getting out there because these young guys, they're looking at this old guy coming out there. They're like, yeah, what's this guy going to do? So typically I like to get out there and chunk the ball around. Certainly there's places I've been able to do that. But, with these coaches, man, these coaches, they want you to come in there and bring a message to their players. What I think is really, especially with the programs that have let me come in, 4 Division I schools that I've got to go to, there's not a lot of places still doing this, but these coaches at these programs, they believe that these players need that kind of messaging. They need more than just football. They need to understand about life. And so that's the way I've been able to gain entry in some of these places. But, my routine, it's pretty much the same, man. I get out there. I want to mix it up with the guys a little bit. I go and talk to them. I especially find the quarterbacks, because I was a quarterback in college, and I love being around other quarterbacks. Quarterbacks have a different mentality, guys. You don't know this from being around sports. It's the toughest position in all of sports. I mean, you take any position there is in every sport, but the quarterback, is the most pressure on it. You get the fame and the blame. You got to be kind of a different guy to be a quarterback anyway. So I like being around those guys and talking to them. As far as getting close to them, you're masked up. I mean, even on the practice field, you're masked up. There's videos that I put out there when I'm out there throwing the ball at South Florida or at North Texas. Man, I don't know if y'all saw that on social media. I dropped a 58-yard bomb on a guy from North Texas, man. It was awesome. But I'm masked up in the video. You're masked up everywhere you go on these football fields. These pictures I take with these coaches after the presentation, they look so different than the pictures from 2020 where you're standing next to a coach. And, it's like, hey, thanking Damon West for coming out to speak today. Well, now I'm standing next to Jeremy Pruitt. We're 6 feet apart. We both have masks on. And that's not just for social media, man. When I went to Tennessee, Pruitt and I didn't shake hands the whole time. We hit fists, we hit elbows. The players, we hit fists, we hit elbows. Nobody's shaking people's hands anymore. None of that stuff is going on. It's weird. It's really kind of, people call this the new norm. I don't buy that. There's nothing normal about not greeting somebody, not shaking their hands, wearing a mask, keeping your distance from somebody. It's very impersonal to do all these things. We're doing it for safety reasons, but this is not normal, guys. This is anything but normal.
Damon West joining us. Uncle Rico has nothing on Damon. Damon can throw it over the mountain.
Yeah, there you go. 54-yard bomb there.
Hey, Damon, wanted to ask you specifically about South Florida because they have a first-year head coach, Jeff Scott. And what do you hear when a new coach comes in? He wants to develop the culture. He also wants the buy-in. Maybe there's some Charlie Strong guys still on that roster that kind of miss their old head coach. And part of your message, your life message, of course, is bringing people together. So that's a pretty good move by a first-year head coach, right? To bring you in and kind of get everybody on the same page, get everybody on board with what's going on there.
Yeah, Jeff and I are friends. We've been friends since 2017 when Dabo first brought me in to speak to the Clemson Tigers, and he was the co-offensive coordinator at Clemson. And I've gone to Clemson almost every year since then. So when he got the job at South Florida, he and I were in touch immediately, and I was like, "Hey Jeff, let me come talk to your team." And we had it all set up. I was going to come in the spring, but then he backpedaled a little bit. He said, "Look, Damon," he said, "I'm coming in here. I need to get my messaging in. Give me a year to get my messaging in, and then I want to bring you in immediately. You'll be the first speaker I bring in." That was back in February of 2020. It seems like years ago. We're talking about February 2020. So 3 weeks ago, I text Jeff, and I was like, "Hey Jeff, look, man, I know we had talked about pushing this off, but the coronavirus hit. A lot has happened since then. What do you think about me coming in and talking to you guys now with everything that's going on?" And he didn't text me back. He called me back. He said, Damon, let's set this up. How do we get this done? I want to get you in here to speak right now. And so we made it happen. He saw the need for it immediately. And when I got to the campus over there, Jeff and I, we talked before and after the presentation, and he was telling me about, South Florida, it's football. They've got a lot of talent there, but he's got to create that culture that he had that, like Dabo had at Clemson. And what he told me was something really cool. He said that the coolest part about being at Clemson, because he was there, he played at Clemson. I mean, so he was there the entire time when Dabo took over to where it is now. He said the coolest part about all that ride was the early years, man, when it started, when they started to lay in the foundation for this culture and the buy-in of those guys and how those guys created a foundation for the other guys to build on. He said that was the coolest part, was building something like that dynasty they have over there at Clemson. And he said, that's what I'm doing over here right now. I'm building that. And he told me about a couple of key players on the team, the guys that were key leaders. One of them is a guy named KJ, who I really, really liked, man. I got to hang out with KJ and talk to him for a little while. But he's got some core guys on that team. And when I go to a team to speak, I always talk to the coaches beforehand because I'm like, what kind of messaging do you need me to hit? What do you need me to talk about that's going on in your program? Because, everybody's program has issues they're dealing with. Some programs are dealing with marijuana. Some programs are dealing with attitudes and personality types. But over here, he was like, look, man, just do your story, do your presentation the way you do it, but be sure we hit the culture, man, because the culture is everything. And so, you got to figure a guy that studied under Dabo Swinney for all those years is going to bring something really dynamic there, but you got to have the players to buy in, right? You can't just magically set that up. You got to have them believe in you. And what I saw from his guys is they believe in their head coach. But what's interesting about what's going on in college football, and this is everywhere, y'all, is that these college football coaches that are still getting ready to play, they're trying to hold it all together because their players are out there busting their asses, guys. They're busting it every day to get in there, and all they want to do is play ball, y'all. They just want a chance to play ball. You look at the conferences that I've already said they're not playing ball. These players they're livid because they put in all this work and they're not getting a lot of the answers back. And so his thing is that, he's dealing with guys that he feels like he has to get them out of the field. All these coaches feel like that. They feel like they've got to get to a game. They've got to get to playing football because you've got to have something at the end of all this work. Think about, man, just, playing sports, man. You put on all the time in the summer, the off season, the fall camp that comes up, and then someone pulls a rug out from under you a couple weeks before the season and says, we're not playing. Man, you just went through a fall camp and they tell you you're not playing. And so these coaches are trying to deal with that, and they're trying to get everybody to the finish line, which is get the college football season started. I think all the coaches are optimistic that the season's going to start. I think they're cautiously optimistic that the season will finish, but they just want to get there. And it's so weird because some of these athletic directors I talk to that are still playing, they're like, man, look, the season, this is before the schedules came out. They're like, man, these schedules could change. We could find out, you could drop a team you're playing 2 weeks out and get a new opponent 2 weeks out. Think about that. You're playing college football. There's TV stuff set up, and 2 weeks out you could be playing a different opponent. You got to shift gears and reschedule everything and rework everything for a new opponent. But that's the reality of what's going to happen this year. And they're up against a lot, guys. They're up against a lot because the guidelines coming out, it's not like the CDC wrote these guidelines for football people on mind. There's a guideline out right now, which is insane for playing football, that if you have any physical contact with somebody, you have a COVID positive person that has physical contact with another person, then that person they had contact with has to be quarantined for 10 days or 14 days. How many people does a linebacker have contact with, guys? Just about everybody. A linebacker touches almost everybody in the field at some point. And if you're a lineman, you have a lineman that comes up positive, and you have to do a quarantine by position groups. You can't play a game without linemen. This might work with a receiver or a running back position, but you can't even play a game without linemen. So they're up against a lot, y'all.
Damon West joining Ellerbe and I earlier today on Pirate Radio Live. That's exactly what Shirley was talking about earlier with Lincoln Riley losing a position group, as Damon was describing there, about how many guys are in contact with each other. And something that goes back to what Cy said earlier, how quickly this thing can spread. And we're all kind of seeing it right now, Shirley.
Yeah, and it's a risk that we are unfortunately, it's going to be part of our football season this year. Is if we're going to play football, this is going to be one of these risks that we're going to be having to basically watch out for.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like I've said before, hopefully we get the team on the field sooner rather than later. Hopefully this week, but we'll see what happens, because I feel that if it goes any longer than that, then that September 12th game would probably be in jeopardy, I would think.
We're kind of on the timetable here, and I need to get back out on the practice field. All right, let's take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll have more from that interview with Damon West when we return on Pirate Radio Live. Back with you after this.
Are your workouts more fun than this? Well, if they are, then I want to sign you to an endorsement deal with Michelob Ultra. I'm looking for anyone and everyone who makes working out a blast. If that's you, head to TeamUltra.com for a chance to score awesome perks like Team Ultra gear and more. That's TeamUltra.com to enter.
No purchase necessary. Open U.S. residents 21 plus. See official rules at TeamUltra.com. Message and data rates may apply. Void where prohibited. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal: to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, save over $9,000 off on the all-new 2020 Buick Envision. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
The Frells family lives on a lush piece of land called Greener Pasture, and they work on it behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor. With its durable construction and features that hook up to dozens of attachments with ease, no job is too tough. The Frells family runs with us, because this is more than just land, it's home. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Get quality at every turn with Quality Equipment, your local John Deere dealer, with 27 locations in North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. Find out more at QualityEquip.com.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
Hey Pirate fans, the Papa John's menu has grown again with the all-new grilled buffalo chicken papadilla. The papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, and are only $6. Choose from the all-new grilled buffalo chicken, Philly cheesesteak, Italian, pepperoni meatball, and barbecue chicken and bacon, all for only $6 each. Also for a limited time, get any large 5-topping pizza for only $13.99. Place your order today online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
Register for Army ROTC to be a leader and an officer in the U.S. Army, Army Reserve, or Army National Guard. You could also be eligible for a full tuition scholarship. Lead the team that makes a difference. To learn more, contact Dale Anderson at 252-622-5346 or Anderson, DAL, at ecu.edu. Paid for by the United States Army.
The icy treat that can't be beat is Sparky Snowballs of Greenville. Right now, for a special time, Sparky Snowballs is open every day from noon to 8 in the Food Truck Rodeo on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Stop by for a delicious icy treat. Plus, did you know Sparky's also has funnel cakes and fried Oreos too? Support your local Food Truck Rodeo every day from noon to 8 on the corner of Evans Street and Fire Tower Road. Sparky Snowballs, serving delicious icy treats to smiling faces for over 20 years. Visit Sparky's on Facebook or SparkySnowballs.com.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. At Angel Oak, they continue to make customer service a #1 priority. A local mortgage advisor is the key to your transaction success. The combination of their local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard, conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for every financial situation. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060. And Clip, as we head back into Pirate Radio Live, the Cincinnati Bengals just tweeted out moments ago that they will not have any fans for their season opener against the Chargers.
No jokes, people. No jokes. We get it. They don't have fans anyway. Ha ha ha.
Well,
although, if you want to throw in a joke because Redbeard's listening, so
yeah,
screw the Bengals. Screw you, Redbeard. We got to get Redbeard on for. One thing I didn't do this summer was the Friday Football Fan Preview, where I talked to a fan of every NFL team to preview the season. I've been so detached from the NFL. I haven't done that. Maybe we need to do like a speed round of those.
You got to do Clip Sports Quiz, the radio version.
We should bring that back?
Yeah, well, you haven't done that this summer.
I know.
You usually do that because you usually put me up against Sharonda Buck.
Oh, yeah.
The last couple of years.
You want to play? Yeah, you can play. Chandler can play.
Yeah, Chandler can play.
And I'll
we get Sharonda in here.
Get a couple other contestants.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'll be fun. We'll do that. We still got things we need to do this summer before football hits. It is quickly approaching for sure. So no fans for the Bungles for how long? Week 1?
As it stands right now, just week 1.
And then they'll go from there. All right, going to be weird to see some empty NFL stadiums coming up in week 1. All right, let's continue the chat now with Damon West. He joined Ellerbe and I earlier this afternoon and talked about, will there be football? What will it look like? What's going on with the coronavirus when it comes to football? And Damon West answered all those questions very enthusiastically. And here's part 2 of the interview.
The big question is to play or not to play. You've already mentioned, obviously, the Big Ten, Pac-12 have opted out. The Mountain West has as well. With what you've done with the visiting the 4 schools in the last couple of weeks, you're friends with Dabo Sweeney. You've probably talked to him and other coaches. What is your opinion? Is it safe to play college football this year? And then how far do you see it going?
All right, look, I'm going to give you my total candid response. This is us talking, and this is going to play on the radio too. And this is me from where I see it. And if I see something else that changes my mind, then I will speak up. I'm always one to say, hey, look, you know what, I was wrong. Better information's become available. Do I think they should be playing college football? Absolutely, because I think that college football players are more at risk from getting struck by lightning than dying from COVID. And the complications they're talking about from COVID. I think young people under 25, for the most part, are more at risk from those kind of things. And I get it. I get that COVID's a bad deal. I'm not saying don't take COVID seriously, but I'm saying let's take COVID for what it is and not make it worse than what it is. And I really think that we've gone too far in the direction of being like an overabundance of caution, I guess is the term we'll use. I mean, for the Big Ten to cancel football and the Pac-12 to cancel football as far out as they did, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me. And look, the Pac-12 has been very transparent with their players, their people, about how they came to their conclusion. The Big Ten hadn't done that. The Big Ten, as far as I know, at this point, the Big Ten hadn't come out and been, that forthcoming with information. I understand that they have this heart issue going on, what they think that is caused by COVID and myocarditis, I think is what the name of it is. But, look, man, this is football, man. This is a sport where you're going to play, and every time you take the field, you risk being paralyzed because of the sport you're playing. It's a violent sport. But do I think it's safe to play football? Absolutely. Do I think they should be playing football? Absolutely. And I think if there's better information or better medicine that comes forward and says, hey, you know what, no, Damon, that might not be a good idea, then I'll be the first to admit I was wrong. But at this point, man, I think it's insane that we're not playing football, guys. I'll go that far out there on that because you're talking. Listen, let me tell you something too. What goes on when you're talking about canceling college football? You're talking about millions of mom and pop businesses in America that make their money during football season. You know, people that sell different college towns all over America. You know, what we're doing with COVID and how it's going to affect our economy and small businesses. Listen, man, you don't do this for something like COVID. I get that it's bad, but man, whenever you're talking about, you know, locking down an economy, locking down a society, and cutting them out of something like football, we need sports on top of that, guys. Football, it's something that I think people need at this point, y'all. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm very emotional. Not emotional about it, but I'm very to the point about how I feel about this, because I do think we should be playing college football. I think it's ridiculous that conferences have already folded and thrown in the towel. I don't think that you know what else? I'll go further. I'll go a little bit further. I think that the conferences that have thrown in the towel are probably hoping that the rest of the conferences do not get to play. Because imagine if the Big Ten is sitting there watching the SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC play college football this year. How do you think they're going to feel if they make it all the way to December and have a championship game? I think they're going to be irate. So do they go out there and give information? Do they leak information about, you know, what's going on to try to stop everybody else from playing? I think the forces against college football playing right now are so strong that you can't discount anybody from trying to stop, even other conferences from trying to stop the rest of college football from playing this year. That's my opinion about it.
Damon, that's kind of where I was going next. I mean, there's a chance that Ryan Day and Jim Harbaugh and Scott Frost are sitting in their recliners watching football, fuming here in a few weeks, and we'll see if that happens. I hope it happens. But then there's the case of spring football that these conferences have talked about playing, and I don't know. Personally, I find it hard to believe that the scheduling can get done, and then you got the player safety of playing 2 seasons in a calendar year. As someone who went through it, you're a good guy to ask about it. What do you think about the spring football that these conferences are bringing up, that we're going to punt this fall, but we're going to try to play in the spring? Do you think that's doable? Do you think that'll happen?
You know, I don't think spring. Who wants to go play football up north in February? You know, who wants to do that? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that we're talking about having a spring season, 2 seasons in 1 year. And look, to clarify what I said a while ago, I don't think Ryan Day and Scott Frost and Harbaugh and all those guys have any animus towards any other conferences playing. I'm thinking this is happening at a higher level. We're talking about. Oh no,
they're mad that they're not playing, not that other conferences are playing.
Yeah, okay. Let's say, because I think that you're talking about university presidents level, that they're hoping that other schools don't get them. People that have no involvement in football whatsoever, by the way, that are making decisions like this, are probably the ones that are hoping the other conferences do not get to play, and that's disconcerting at a minimum and alarming at a maximum, because college football, I think what's been exposed too is the fact that college football doesn't really have a governing body that is really in control. I mean, look at this. It's chaos. It's chaotic. What's going on? The NCAA doesn't have any kind of a testing policy that smaller schools can get tested with. I mean, but this also comes from the fact that a lot of schools, I mean, the NCAA doesn't get a lot of money from a lot of schools. So there's not a lot of money in the NCAA itself to go out and test everybody. But man, look, these programs that aren't playing in the fall, talk about playing in the spring. You know, I don't know, man. I just don't think that spring football is, I mean, how do you do it? I mean, how do you do it? I mean, how do you do it with these guys to get them ready for the draft? Do you have 2 championships? Do you have an asterisk by the championship this year for college football? Do you have bowl games, in March? What do you do? And then you're cutting into next season already. I think one of the best things I've seen come out of this is that the NCAA is giving all these players back a year of eligibility, regardless if they play or not. I think that's important. And you know what else I think, guys? I mean, I know I'm going off on different tangents on this, but I think that Trevor Lawrence and those guys jumping on board, it was a Sunday night when they started saying that hashtag we want to play. I think that saved college football for now. I don't even think we're having a conversation about college football if there wasn't so much going on from the player side of it to push the conversation off, at least until further down the line, to kick the can a little further down the road, because you had some of the biggest names in sports, and it didn't work out for the Big Ten. You had you had Justin Fields and all those guys getting involved too. Honestly, guys, I was shocked that the Big Ten, especially Ohio State, folded like that, and now they're going to have to play. They're talking about playing in the spring.
Yeah,
and like you said, I bet Ryan Day is pissed.
Yeah, Damon, you bring up Trevor Lawrence, obviously one of the power players in college football with Clemson and Dabo Swinney down there. But one of the other big questions that has come up to the forefront during all this is should college football players be paid? And should the revenue be shared a little more equally with them? Your former player, is the price of a scholarship, is that worthy? Or is this now part of the conversation where reform for college sports, where players can start getting some of that millions of dollars that's on the table for the schools and coaches as well?
There's two ways to look at this. One is that these guys earn their money. I mean, I played college ball too. I think that I think they certainly earn more than what they're getting in that scholarship. I mean, because you're bringing in the budget for probably every sport at your school when you play football. I mean, you're talking about with the way budgets work in Title IX and having an equal number of scholarships. And let's call this for what it is, because we're talking about canceling college football. Canceling college football, you're talking about some places don't ever recover. Their entire athletic departments never recover from this. And athletic scholarships have been like a deal for American college students for 50, 60 years, man. This is something that's going on where people that normally wouldn't get a chance to go to school and get an education, it's schools all over East Carolina. We're talking about a wide range of college athletic departments that give scholarships, and these young student athletes get to go and get an education. It's like a GI Bill kind of thing. And you're talking about disrupting and dismantling that at some place. Some university athletic departments are going to go under because of this. They won't recover from this. Some will, some won't. You look at schools when the story came out yesterday that the Clemson coaches are all giving back 10% of their salary. Over at University of South Florida, they're giving back 20% of their salary. I mean, there's different schools. Every school is doing this, man. They're all, biting the bullet and trying to make ends meet. And when you're talking about, these college football players, should they get paid? Listen, here's what the other side of that is. If you don't want to pay them outright for letting them play, give them what they deserve with their name and likeness, their jersey sales, their name sales, their names in these video games, stuff like that. Give them that. I mean, because don't you think they earned that much? And if you want to have it, I say the conversation starts with giving them that next year. And what this has shown, so listen, here's the deal. Here's what we're also on the cusp of. The coronavirus may have delivered a big blow to college athletics is this. The players have found their voice. Not only that, but they found out where to go to spread their voice to the public. Social media, right? All these players are interconnected in the world of social media. They didn't have that 25 years ago when I played college football. None of that was even going on. You couldn't just pick up the phone. One guy from Trevor Lawrence couldn't just get on the phone with a guy from another conference and say he's playing ball at USC or somewhere like that. That's not just going to happen. But it happens now. These guys are all connected on social media, and they have found their voice. And here's what's interesting. Here's what's interesting, guys. And I don't know that this will happen, and I'm not going to say I'm for it or against it. But imagine this scenario. College football, let's say it starts out, maybe gets 5 weeks into the season, and they cancel the fall. And which I'm thinking that might be our reality, guys. I'm thinking that there's no way. I'm thinking it's tough that we play a full football season this year. I think it's really tough that it's going to happen, guys. I mean, I just consider it a long shot. I'm being realistic. I'm being pragmatic about it. So let's say that all these colleges lose all that money that comes in from playing college football this year, playing fall sports, everything. We throw the other sports in too. Now, you're rolling into the spring, and these players say, look, they're reading the landscape. Never in history have the players had so much power than to say, okay, now you come to the table or we strike and there's no college football next year. Some of these schools can absorb a blow for 1 year of missing college sports, guys. You're talking about the major universities can absorb this blow and bounce back. But can any school survive 2 straight years of no football in the fall? What do you think?
I mean, Damon, you've already heard Coach K said that basketball would struggle to miss 2 March Madnesses, and he's probably the most powerful person in that sport. And you would have to think it would be even more devastating if football were to miss 2 seasons.
Yeah, And so there's the power. Therein lies the power that no one's talked about so far is you're talking about you've caved in on college football this fall. It's the law of unintended consequences, guys. And whenever you go down a road, you set a different future starts happening because of a choice you make today. Now there's a new set of variables that start coming into play. The law of unintended consequences say anything can happen at this point. You've canceled fall sports. These players that you just canceled on, they figured out they're angry because you're not going to find one single player that's going to be happy about this. That's a big name guy because they just lost a year of eligibility. Some guys aren't coming back; they're going straight to the pros. You know, guys like Trevor and Justin Fields and all those guys, they're going to miss their entire last season of college football. But these guys that are going to play ball next year, if they say, you know what, no more, we're all getting together. We've all talked. We've all talked on social media. We had a Zoom call with 2,500 of the best players, college players in America, and none of us are suiting up next year unless you start paying us now. Let's go start having negotiations, or there's no football in 2021. Holy cow. What do you do then?
Things go get sideways. Damon West, our special guest.
And Damon, on that note, you know, you see baseball players go from high school to the minor leagues, trying to make their way up to the pros, and then in basketball, there's been a bit of a small trend of players going overseas and playing professionally, then going to the draft instead of going the college route. You know, we see these spring football leagues pop up every year. Well, now The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has his name attached to the XFL. With that scenario you're talking about, I mean, do you think there will ever be another maybe mini trend of guys trying to go that route instead of playing college, maybe getting a little cash and showing off some film from the NFL by going the pro route?
You know, I don't know, guys. And this is the other side of the argument. I was talking to a good friend of mine, an AD. I won't say who it is, but he's a Division I football AD, and he was telling me that, you know, if you start paying the players, then you're gonna. He fears that you're gonna look into messing with the experience of football and the quality of football, like you do with minor league football teams. You know, these semi-pro football teams, all these leagues, they come and they go. They never last, and these guys are all paid to play a sport, but it never works out. He said, when you start getting money involved, he said he thinks that will mess up what you have in college football, you know. But, look, guys, I don't know. I know that what we're doing is not working, and I know that what we're doing has brought us to the point where we are today, and where we are today is you've got a lot of angry 18 to 22-year-olds out there that have a lot of power because now they control the coffers of all their universities, not just their athletic departments, but there's a lot of universities that survive academically off of some of the stuff football brings. And so now you're talking about you've just given power to thousands of 18 to 22-year-olds with Twitter accounts. Wow, you know, that's going to be an interesting year next year.
Absolutely. Damon West, author, motivational speaker. Damon, both your books and your story are stories of adversity, redemption, and you're speaking to these college football programs. And one of the big things I think we talked about when you were on the Pirate Radio podcast was everybody needs hope. And these players are dealing with something that they, you know, it's not like an injury that's holding them back from playing this season, particularly for most of them, this coronavirus thing. So when you talk and you have your message, how do you sell hope and, promise to these players that that positive future is around the corner?
You know, the thing I sell these guys is that you don't control these variables. You don't control it. I don't control what's going on. Look, man, I evacuated last night from Beaumont, Texas, because the double hurricane is headed my way. My family, we loaded up 2 cats and a dog and everything we could put into 2 vehicles and took off, headed west in Texas. I didn't control those hurricanes, but what I do control is my response to it. And life's going to throw hurricanes at you, not just real hurricanes, but things are going to happen. The coronavirus, the year 2020, is certainly a lot of variables we don't control. And I tell these guys in those rooms, you don't control whether or not you're going to play ball in the fall. And what you control is your response to every day. And if they don't let you play ball in the fall, then you got to figure out how you're going to respond to that and how you're going to better yourself and move forward in life with or without football. Because there's a good chance. I tell them this, man. I want them to the last thing I ever want to lose is my authenticity with these guys because these guys, whenever I go in there and speak, these guys, they're bought into that, man, because I'm shooting them straight. And when I talk about stuff like race and all the other stuff they don't ever hear speakers talk about, it's because, man, I want them to know I'm real, and it's real and it's raw. And the real and raw truth that I tell these guys is you may not play football this fall. You may not play football. And some of y'all may not ever play football again because of coronavirus. What are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and get soft and sad and weak like a carrot, but life beats you down, or hard and mad and mean like the egg, or are you going to figure out how to change that, man? Find opportunity in adversity. And that's the whole point of the presentation when I go in there to these teams, is you want to find opportunities inside of adversity. This is an adverse situation. There's no doubt about that. But what's the opportunity? What's the opportunity? It's like whenever the coronavirus shut everybody down, one of the coolest stories of adverse and opportunity through adversity was the head coach, Billy Napier, at Louisiana Lafayette. Y'all remember Billy Napier? He was at Clemson for a while. He was at Alabama under Saban. But Napier, when this happened, he saw that he was going to lose all his players during coronavirus. They were going back to their hometowns. They couldn't come to the facilities. He got on the phone and tried to start finding these workout bands, these resistant bands. He found a company that had a set of resistant. He bought 100 of them, bought the last 100 this company had, and got them in the hands of his players. And his players have been working resistance bands the entire offseason, man. How many people do you think called that manufacturer those resistance bands after Napier did, but didn't jump on it fast enough, didn't see the opportunity in the adversity? That's what I'm talking about, man. And sometimes striking and finding the opportunity is something that it's it's on the spot. It's on the moment, man. You have to see it and jump on it and hit it, man. That's what separates good from the great, right?
Absolutely. I guess, Damon, your book, one of them, Be the Coffee Bean, 2020 is the year to be the coffee bean. And DamonWest.org is where people can learn more about the coffee bean and your story. And certainly the world of college football changes really hourly, it seems like, or, day to day. So we'll continue to follow it here. And, man, we've loved our conversation today. And we'll have to catch up again soon and see what this college football world is going to be like in another week or two.
Guys, I'm always happy to do it, man. You have my number. Let me know if I can ever, contribute to the conversation and be useful, man.
Damon, thanks for your time. We'll have to get you down here to East Carolina sometime. Talk to Mike Houston and the Pirates and get them fired up soon.
Just set me up, man. Just give me an introduction to those guys. I would love to come. If you could pass my number on to the head coach or the director of football operations, I'll come out there now in person.
Absolutely. We'll make that happen. Damon, thanks for your time. Look forward to catching up again soon.
Thanks, Damon.
Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
That was our conversation earlier today with Damon West. For more information on him, his books, you can go to DamonWest.org. As very energetic, wants to see some college football, as we all do. We do have, Shirley, as we go to break, some breaking news regarding other sports at East Carolina University, and it is not positive news.
No, it's not. The American just announced that they are moving all soccer and volleyball competition to the spring of 2021. So now things are getting jam-packed for the spring. I mean, it is going to be insane if all of this comes to fruition. Then it's going to be a busy spring.
The word fruition in a southern accent is pretty funny. Fruition. Yeah, I'm going to be...
There's an extra syllable in there somewhere.
We're the PA triangle here. We're just going to go
busy
from event to event like musical chairs, just going around the complex.
You usually do volleyball.
Yeah,
you do baseball.
Yeah.
I do softball.
Chan's done softball.
Chan's done
lacrosse,
softball. We've done
soccer.
lacrosse. We've done soccer. So, yeah, I've done some volleyball because I've covered for you a couple of times. So, yeah, we're going to be busy.
Busy PA announcers. All right, so by the way, programming alert, we'll have Jason Hamilton on the show Wednesday.
Oh, we are?
Yes, he's scheduled to appear.
Oh, okay. Well, you never tell me who the guests are until you mention it.
Well, one day at a time, Shirley. We get through today, we worry about tomorrow.
Worry about tomorrow.
I'm already worried about the rest of the week, but Jason Hamilton said to join us Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And hopefully we'll still be able to talk to him, and he'll have some disappointing news to talk about. But I want to get him on the show coming up. Also, Steve Rockleford coming up on Wednesday's program as well. We'll move the voice, Jeff Charles, to Thursday's Pirate Radio Live.
So that pretty much leaves basketball and football, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That looks like that's all that's left as far as the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
boy. All right, let's take a time out. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2, get you set for hour number 3. Stephen Igoe, a lot of news and notes to get to regarding ECU athletics in hour number 3 of today's show. Also, we'll open up the Pirate Radio booty bag. I don't think you said yet, Shirley. I'm going to leave it up to you. What do you want to give away?
What we're giving away today?
Yeah.
Let's give away... I had it again today. Let's do Pops.
So whatever Shirley eats...
Whatever Shirley has for lunch is what we're giving away. No, I'm just kidding.
You get Shirley's leftovers.
No, there are never leftovers.
Good point. Me neither. Well, with mine. What'd you have at Pops today?
I went with the thing that I went with last week.
Hamburger steak,
some collards, and some good old mashed potatoes and gravy, and it was fabulous.
I'm going to have to jump on that. We'll give you a $10 gift card to Pops Old-Fashioned Burgers, but again, they have a lot of great choices there at Pops. We'll give that away in hour number 3. More to go on Pirate Radio Live after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Jonathan Ellerbe, one of the proud owners and operators of Pirate Radio. As we launch into our 18th year in business, we have a lot of exciting new news to share with you. Our afternoon drive time show, Pirate Radio Live, has a new look and is now streaming every day from our brand new digital studio from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live, on our website, pr927fm.com, and in your car on 92.7 FM in Greenville and 104.1 in Washington. The new and improved PRL is hosted by Clip Brock and Shirley Rhodes, and will feature the latest breaking news, top-notch guests, and all your favorite Pirate Radio personalities, like The Voice, Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igoe, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, plus Troy D. and myself. Give us a follow on social media at PR927FM for programming updates, guest alerts, and breaking news. Thank you for your loyalty and support, and I hope you enjoy the new and improved Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
What's the big deal?
Where can you get pizza, bread twists, specialty chicken, and more for just $5.99 each?
Is it at Domino's?
He hands off hand-tossed pizza and a marble cookie brownie. He's going!
There's a lot of variety on the radio and at Domino's too, where you can
mix and match 2 or more. $5.99 each at Domino's.
2-item minimum. Pan pizza, bone-in wings, and bread bowls will be extra. Ask for this limited time offer. Prices, participation, delivery area, and charges may vary.
Do you think you might have been exposed to COVID-19? Maybe you're planning to visit parents, family, or friends. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. Arc Point Labs of Greenville offers easy solutions to COVID-19 testing. Arc Point Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. Arc Point Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
If you're like many, you may have put on the Corona 5, 10, or even 15 over the last 2 months. Well, the weather is warm and it's time to get that body back on track. At Clean Eats, we have you covered. Our weekly meal plan will quickly help you get back to where you want to be. Order online at cleaneats.com. Our cafe is back open, sanitized, and waiting to serve you healthy lunch and dinner options for dine-in, take-out, curbside, or even delivered through our delivery partners. Clean Eats, it's a lifestyle. 805 Red Banks Road, Arlington Village.
There have been many changes in the automotive world. At Phelps Chevrolet, the Phelps boys are here to take care of you. Mike, Daryl, and 4 of Mr. Phelps' grandsons, Wade, Wes, Alan, and Clay. You see, things at Phelps remain the same. The Phelps team has served Eastern North Carolina for over 50 years. We make your visit easy and fun. We are your neighbors, and that's what neighbors do. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Like Mr. Phelps' great-granddaughter says, come in and get you one.
CD's Grill in Winterville wants to thank you for all of your support during these crazy times. CD's Grill has the area's best country cooking, and you can come and enjoy a down-home breakfast or one of our daily country lunch specials at CD's Grill.
Hi, this is Lawrence Manning from my entire CD's Grill family. Thank you for all your support. And we invite you and your family and friends to try CD's Grill and taste for yourself the best country cooking around. Promise, CD's Grill.
CD's Grill, 111 West Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
The dog days of summer are here, and Pip Printing is excited to be partnered with Pitt County Humane Society and Pirate Radio to make Greenville greater than ever. This is Donald Stocks from Pip Printing, and if you're headed to the beach, the river, or the pool, then stop by and see us and pick up a new t-shirt and 2 koozies for only $20. Help rescued pets here in Pitt County and make Greenville greater than ever, and by getting your shirts and koozies at Pitt County Humane Society or Pip Printing today.
Pirate Radio 1250 and 930.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 2 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by Bud Light, reminding Pirate fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. Proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Atlantic Wireless is your local authorized U.S. cellular agent and now offers curbside service and free home delivery. In addition to phone service, Atlantic Wireless has a great selection of tablets and now offers home internet service. Visit AtlanticWireless.com to find a store near you. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
Wrapping up hour number 2 of today's edition of Pirate Radio Live. Enjoyed our guests today, Billy Weaver, Seymour, and Damon West. And we've got Stephen Igoe joining us for hour number 3 of today's show. Shirley and Chandler rocking and rolling. Chandler, you had some bad news during the break, but not regarding ECU or college sports, so nobody freak out. More just, the series is over between the Lakers and the Blazers, but you just put a nail in the coffin with your news you just told me, Chandler.
Yes, Dame Lillard will not be playing in Game 5 of this series.
Yeah, so, I mean, LeBron and the Lakers took over last night. They're taking over the last 2 games, really.
A slaughter fest.
Last night was just ugly. As they dominated that game against Portland and will likely close them out coming up tomorrow night. Tonight, we've got Clippers and Mavericks. We'll see what Luka can do for an encore. And Igoe, before we get to the ECU news in hour number 3, were you a Nuggets fan was your fandom with the Nuggets the least amount of time anybody's ever been a fan of a team? Because you're probably off the bandwagon now, right?
Yeah, game 1 was thrilling.
It was a great game.
I was all in. I was ready to order my Jokic jersey, and now I'm glad I did not. They have really fallen on hard times.
The last game was awesome on Sunday night, but they lost because Donovan Mitchell was amazing.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Donovan Mitchell. I mean, I knew he was good, but I didn't know he was this good, and I guess he really wasn't before the playoffs. I mean, he's scoring like 50 a game now, so he's been incredible. And
the Nuggets don't really guard anybody.
No, that's a problem, especially once you get into the NBA when people actually start playing defense. So, every interview, they do those interviews like during the timeouts or in between quarters with the coach, and I think they've done like 8 thus far with the Nuggets coach this series, and every interview he's like, we've got to defend better, and they're still not defending at all. So
Jokic, he's awesome. He's one of the best players in the league all around, but he doesn't play any defense. I guess Jamal Murray just wants to score 50. He just wants to score. Which he's been awesome, too. But, yeah, they don't really worry about guarding any. I guess they figure they can score 150 and win, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, and they got a really young nucleus, so I think they'll be good for a while. But I think they are scheduled to lose Millsap at the end of the year as a free agent. So they're
probably the only guy that tries on defense.
The only guy that can play defense. So I'm really interested to see what direction they go in after that. But I'm not going to say I'm completely off the bandwagon yet. It's still 3-1, right?
That's been a fun series, even though, Utah's had 2 blowout wins. Yeah. The other 2 games have gone right down to the wire, and they play tonight like 6:30, something like that. So,
and when they played during the regular season, the Nuggets swept them, but every game was decided by, I think, 5 or so points or less. So,
one more ride on the Nugget train for Igoe?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll watch. They're actually starting at a good time. The other night I fell asleep at halftime, so 6:30 or 7, whatever it is tonight, I can actually stay up and watch the end.
All right, we will go into hour number 3, open up the booty bag, talk ECU athletics and more with Stephen Igoe from Hoist the Colors. That is on the way for hour number 3 of Pirate Radio Live here on a Tuesday. We're back with you after this.
a trip to the branch into a tap on your phone. Let's hit pause on a lost debit card without hitting pause on life. That's how First National Bank is redefining convenience, with a top-rated mobile app that puts more security and control at your fingertips, and friendly people to help you succeed right by your side. Let's get started at fnb-online.com or your local First National Bank. FNB member FDIC.
In studio with Mike Mullis from Fixed NC. And Mike, you guys have a disinfecting service for homes and businesses.
Yes, we have a two-step process that includes disinfecting and also provides 30 days of protection to all surfaces treated. We're doing this for 10 cents a square foot in businesses and $10 a room in your home.
Mike, how can folks get in touch with you?
Call me directly at my cell, 252-999-0001. Again, 3 9s, 3 zeros, and a 1. Or fixednc.com.
Hey, Pitt County Schools families, the month of August is here and school will certainly be different this year. If you are starting school 100% virtually or are attending school face-to-face on alternating weeks, we are looking forward to resuming the purpose of our system, and that's the education of the children in Pitt County in an excellent and a safe manner. For videos with our leaders, FAQs, and so much more information to answer your questions, visit our Road to Reopening page on our website at pittschools.org or keep up with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Remember, we'll face this upcoming school year together because we are Pitt County Schools strong.
Bostic Sugg Furniture wants to know, how'd you sleep last night? If you're like thousands, the answer is probably not very well. You're tired, stressed, your job suffers, and worse, your health suffers. Get better sleep on a Restonic mattress, a Consumer's Digest Award winner 13 years running. Restonic Queen mattresses start as low as $4.99. Restonic two-sided Queen mattresses from only $6.99. If you're ready to wake up to a whole new you, we have a Restonic mattress waiting for you, exclusively at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Ahoy, mateys! To keep those cars clean, you need the Pirates Cove Fast Pass.
The new Pirates Cove Car Wash on 10th Street is now open. The 10th Street location is offering Fast Passes for $9.99 for new Fast Pass customers. These Fast Passes will be good at all 3 Greenville locations. Visit us on Fire Tower Road, Memorial Drive, and now on East 10th Street. And coming soon, Haviland Express Lube and Pirates Cove Car Wash in New Bern.
So we have you surrounded. Pirates Cove, the official car wash partner of ECU Athletics.
It's summertime, and it's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car truck from Greenville Auto World. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Are you planning that summer trip by car? We'll get you set for that trip with an oil change and 27-point inspection. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard, across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
This is Sam Jones inviting you to join us for lunch, dinner, or takeout at Sam Jones Barbecue. At Sam Jones, you'll find our smokehouse pumping out fresh food cooked over wood every single day. That's our Eastern North Carolina whole hog barbecue, slow-cooked chicken, smoked turkey, and spare ribs. There are no freezers here. Everything, and we mean everything, is made fresh daily, including our sides, sweets, and sauces. Come on over and see us at Sam Jones Barbecue, and I'll bet you'll be able to taste the difference in just one bite. Sam Jones Barbecue, Fire Tower Road.
This is Stephen Igoe, publisher of HoistTheColors.net. Recruiting is the lifeblood of any college sports program, and no one devotes more coverage to the future of ECU athletics than Hoist the Colors. Want to know who's going to be the next Holton Ahlers or Jaden Gardner? We've got all the inside scoop on the Pirates' most talented recruits and top targets 24/7. Sign up now and get your first month of coverage for a single $1. HoistTheColors.net, the most reliable reporting on ECU athletics.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Don't even think about it.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. PRL this afternoon is brought to you by Bud Light, who reminds Pirate fans to always stay in the game and drink responsibly. Bud Light, proudly distributed by Carolina Eagle Distributing since 1989. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Barat.
All right, Steve and Igoe and I talking a little sports trivia during the break. We'll be out at AJ's Wednesday night for some fun sports trivia. Shirley wants to bring back Clip Sports Trivia to Pirate Radio Live. We'll have to do that. That'll be a good Friday show, Shirley.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We'll break that out once again soon. All right, Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, is here. Hello, Stephen.
Hey.
Let's get our news of the day.
News of the day.
Oh, we don't have a cool theme?
No, because you didn't tell me to have
What is
one
the news
ready.
of the day? Because I don't have any news.
News of the day is, I think, that ECU, the AAC, announced that no volleyball and women's soccer will be played this fall.
This was expected. Because the NCAA has already moved their championships to the spring. So they would have basically just been playing for a conference championship.
This was expected. Okay, well...
And just like cross country, I expect to also be...
So we can't talk about things that you expect to happen?
No, we can talk. We got an hour to kill, so let's dive into it.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying it was expected.
All right.
So football is not next, is what I'm saying.
All right.
Maybe eventually, but not right now.
So, okay. All right, that's a good place to go with this. We go A to B to C.
Well, if you go A to C with your baseball swing, you don't want to go A, B to C.
Squash the bug?
You want to go A to C direct.
I know. I was always told that.
Yeah.
So, let's get on that real quick. When we were coming up, I'm a little older than you, but it was always swing down on the ball. You want to swing down on the ball.
That's terrible. Even when I was growing up, I was told the same, and I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to hit a weak ground ball. I want to elevate the ball.
Now it's all about launch angle, right? So
if I would have grown up in this era, I would have been a superstar. And instead, my exit velocity...
Your coach held you down.
My exit velocity was always like 100 miles an hour, but straight into the dirt.
Name the coaches that really hurt your...
I will not.
Mike Mullis?
No, Mike Mullis was my hitting instructor, but I don't remember him telling me to chop down on the ball.
I remember doing the whole A to C, squash the bug stuff around Mully, and he was like, no, that ain't how you do it. No. So I bet he didn't do this stuff we were talking about, the chop.
No.
All right.
I was always taught to hit the top half of the ball.
Yeah,
it's like kind of counter. Although if you hit it on the ground, you make them make a play.
Yeah, that's what we heard. I looking back at it, Mully was legit because he had experience, but my dad probably paid for some pretty bogus instructors over the years, just because these people scammed him into thinking they knew what they were talking about. So maybe it's not that bad of a line of work if you can.
I'll just say the most fun I had playing baseball was either wiffle ball with buddies or in the backyard, just going launch angle crazy, swinging up on the ball, trying to hit it on my neighbors. They had a building, and if I hit it on the roof of that, it was a home run.
We had I had a pretty sizable backyard growing up. It was called Igoe Field. We actually broke out the paint one year and painted a football field in the backyard and had a midfield logo and everything. The whole neighborhood would come over to play. Shout out Windsor neighborhood. Good spot. But I
played some ball in there.
We had some neighbors, and if we hit it over their fence, it was a home run. But then some new neighbors moved in, and they had a little girl, and they'd be in the backyard playing, and we'd still be out there as high school kids hitting home runs.
You're playing with a tennis ball, though, right?
Yeah, tennis ball. So we explained to them, and sometimes we would hit it off their house and everything. But
you explained to them that this is just part of living here.
I said,
you got to deal with it.
Listen, we've been doing this for 15 years. You just can't move into this house and think that you can stop our neighborhood games from going on. So no, we continued to play until I moved out of the house. It was just a little bit more sporadic. We timed it so that we made sure that that they were not home. So we would have to play some afternoon games where they were at work to get in the games, because once they got off, the games were shut down.
All right, and that has been our news of the day. All right, there you go. Josh with Pirate Radio listener insider update on Facebook Live. They may just be doing individual workouts, but there's a handful of guys out on the practice field.
Probably just out there on their own. But yeah, that is interesting that even they would be allowed out there.
Who says they are? Maybe they're breaking the rules.
They could be, and we could have just ruined it.
We
for
just
everybody.
ratted on them. All right, disregard that Let's strike that from the record, what I just said and what I just read.
I mean, we can blame it on Josh.
Yeah, that was Josh on Facebook Live who's ratting out the players. All right, Igoe. So no volleyball and soccer, and we're back here again. Let's go from A to B on this. The A is that news. The B is that doesn't affect football.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I mean, because football is its own entity, and because the NCAA doesn't control football, I guess they can recommend certain things, but at the end of the day, the college football conferences are pretty much their own organization, so to speak, within college athletics. And so right now, football is still on, and we're seeing all sorts of different, I guess, I don't know the correct terminology, treatments or how to proceed with these positive tests. I mean, I saw a report today, Texas Tech has 21 active cases, and they are still practicing. Oklahoma has lost an entire position group per Lincoln Riley. They're still continuing with practice. You've got some schools that shut down when they get 6 or 7 positive cases.
So what they're doing is just whoever tests positive, you're not at practice.
Yes.
Everybody else, come on out to practice.
And so there's no drop number that says, hey, if you get 30 guys test positive, you can't play.
It's whatever you want to do with your program or whoever's making the call. Like, who makes the call at ECU?
John Gilbert makes the call, but he's recommended
recommendations from
medical team, and obviously Mike Houston has a lot of input as well. But I think at the end of the day, it is John Gilbert's decision as the athletic director, relying heavily on the information he receives from the medical team. So NECU has a great medical school, and so I trust those people. Of course, I think the medical people are going to be cautious above wanting to play football more times than not, but that is their job, so I don't blame them. So, yeah, it would be nice to hear an update on the testing numbers from ECU right now. We haven't really gotten we got the university release that said there were 10 cases within the football team confirmed over the weekend. I think they've tested again since then. They have tested again, and now I think they're waiting on some more results. What I heard was they were originally planning to play or to practice again today. They hope to, and I don't know if they're still waiting on the testing results, or the testing results came back a certain way and they did not practice today. So I've been told potentially tomorrow, but I don't know if that's realistic. But they're hoping to be back out there, I think, by the end of the week. But they're still waiting on some stuff to get approved.
So I'm going to be positive about what you just said, and they're almost kind of waiting to move forward with it. Like, you think it's a lot more likely they move forward and are on the field sometime this week than they're not. Fair to say?
I think it's fair to say. I mean, I think that they are doing the contact tracing thing right now. They probably got some positive results back, and so then you have to take the time based off those positive results to contact trace and then quarantine those players. And so maybe that's what they're waiting on now, which would cause another day or two delay. Again, this is more speculation on my part, just from talk with people and putting some things together. Nothing official from ECU, but if they had tested on Monday or Sunday and everyone came back positive, they would be on the field right now practicing, or everything came back in a positive light. Not every test came
We've
back
already
positive.
gone through this on the show. It's hard to say positive, negative, and know what you're talking about, know what you mean, good or bad.
But if everybody came back clean, negative test, they'd probably be on the field practicing right now. But obviously, you've got so many things involved with this. It's not as simple and cut and dry. The chances after 10 positive tests for everybody to come back negative was slim to none. So I'm sure they still have to take care of some business. And I don't know how often they're testing right now. I just saw the one conference, I think, or one school said they're testing now 3 times a week. Others are testing 2 times a week. So I'm not sure what the American stance on that. Originally, it was just the once a week, but you would expect them to adapt like the rest of college football and do multiple tests per week now that we're getting closer to game day.
Getting close to game day Saturday, Igoe, Austin Peay and Central Arkansas. You fired up for that one?
Yeah, I'm a big Governors fan.
The Govs. I mean,
what's Central Arkansas's nickname?
No clue. Let's all take a guess. What do you got?
Central Arkansas Eagles.
All right, I'm going to go with Central Arkansas Bearcats. Bearcats. What do you got, Shirley?
I'm going to go with the Hawks.
Okay. And Chandler.
Answer, but
Oh, you already know it?
You got half of it right. They're the
the Bears.
The Bears.
The
Central Arkansas Bears.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. They are playing football, folks, Saturday. Ooh, 9 o'clock kickoff.
Wow.
How about that? And it is on ESPN.
Let's go.
Woo, buddy.
Speaking of ESPN, are they ever going to announce like television for the games? The FBS games?
Does that concern you that they haven't?
I think the Southern Miss.
Should Kirk Herbstreit be on the call for Saturday night?
Yes.
I don't know what crew they're going to have. Are they going to have their big ABC crew?
I think that's what I'm saying. They should.
Chris Fowler and Herbie?
Reese Davis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first FBS game, South Alabama versus Southern Miss, Thursday 9/3, has yet to have a kickoff time or a TV announcement.
9 days?
September 3rd, so that is
next Thursday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
9
crazy.
days. I mean, when are they going to announce the kickoff?
I guess because teams keep adding games, so we saw one or two more today. Sure, we had the Louisiana Monroe UTEP game. Was that it?
No, Pittsburgh will host Austin Peay September 12th.
Austin Peay is playing a lot of football this fall.
That they are. So they keep adding games, but no, I mean, you're right. They at this point should be able to say, okay, this is the one we're going to televise. So there's no television schedule for next Thursday yet, correct?
There isn't.
Or
I've seen.
Or the Saturday. What about the first Saturday?
I haven't seen anything. The only thing we know is that Navy and BYU will be playing nationally televised game Monday night. I think it's
on what?
I think it's ESPN.
Okay.
I need to double check that, but I know that Navy has a contract with CBS Sports Network, but I'm not sure. I want to say I read it was ESPN, but I'll double check. Either way, it's a primetime game Monday night. It's the only game scheduled for the 7th. And I'm really excited to see that game, one, to see who Navy's quarterback is, see if they found another Malcolm Perry or not, because they won't hold anything back against playing BYU, which is very talented. So
that game is the first Monday?
Yes, the 7th.
Man, that's a good game, too. I mean, look, Austin Peay and Central Arkansas, I'm fired up for it. I don't know anything about those teams, but Navy BYU is a really good game.
BYU Navy, Monday, September 7th at 8 o'clock on ESPN.
I'm in. Count me in.
And so that'll be fun. And, Brandon Marcello of 24/7 Sports did report today that he is hearing that the TV game times for, I guess, the big three conferences left playing, ACC, SEC, etc., could be announced as early as tomorrow for the first 2 weeks of their season. So I would assume ESPN's going to look at those deals and put those guys first, and then after that, you would assume they would put the American on TV. So I think if they make those announcements, we should fairly soon see the American games for the first couple weeks.
So with Big Ten, Pac-12, MAC, all the conferences that are out, all the schools that are out, are we going to see like makeshift TV contracts on the fly, or is it so intricate with college football that if ESPN doesn't have a contract with you, they can't put your game on this year? Like, every game should be televised, right? Because there's a lack of games this year. So whether it's Fox Sports or, throw it on a CBS Sports Network or ESPN, like, every game should be on, but I wonder what they'll do about contracts this year.
Well, that's the thing. In theory, yes, but you got to remember all these TV deals are signed so far. So, like, the ESPN owns the rights to every American game. I think ESPN, SEC Network, which is owned by ESPN, and CBS own the rights to the SEC. Mm-hmm. Fox lost
they lost everything.
Both of them. So unless ESPN is working with them and selling them some rights to games, which they could be doing.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what they would be able to broadcast outside.
No Gus Johnson.
Yeah. So now I was reading today that ESPN may be working with those guys, and that could be part of the delay. But ESPN holds the rights to really the main conferences left. They own the rights to the ACC network.
Does the ACC still do like the lame, like Fox Sports, like local game? Do they have one of those?
I think that went away with the ACC network.
Yeah,
they would do like a Fox Sports regional game because ECU, when they put up 55 on the UNC, that was one of those.
Mike Hogwood.
Yep, that was one of those regional broadcasts. So So yeah, again, I don't know the ins and outs of every TV deal, but I know Conference USA. I was talking with an ECU fan the other day. He sent me that Conference USA has 15 games scheduled to be on Stadium, which I don't even know what that is, and then 10 scheduled to be on NFL Network, and like 5 scheduled to be on ESPN. Like their contract is so messed up. I mean, they're going to be on Stadium more than any other channel.
Now I'm wondering, would the NFL Network rather show a studio show or NFL film show like midweek, or a live Conference USA game? Like, I wonder what if they can make any alterations to their college football on. I don't know, but yeah, that's going to be, I guess. And there's like a new thing we're looking at every week. First it was teams dropping, then it was schedules being added. This week our theme has been what fans are going to be in what stands, and Shirley's been updating that every hour on the hour, and she's got a nice long list there. I guess the next thing is going to be what channel are these games being played on, and maybe those announcements got to be coming out soon. Got to be next week, because there's games next week, Thursday and Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I heard an interesting discussion today on Sirius XM, their ESPN college football channel, and two of their main guys were saying, hey, this is a big chance for the American. And they were theorizing that, usually the Big Ten has those noon kickoff games. They were saying that all the Americans' best games should go in whatever the Big Ten slot is. And a lot of those noon games, you would have the American playing. And yeah.
On what channel?
ESPN. And ABC.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So, those would be front and center ESPN, ESPN2 broadcast for the American to fill that Big Ten void. And so, therefore, you'd get more eyeballs, you'd get more viewership and recognition. And they were saying if the American can find a way to play long term, it makes a lot of sense. And it makes a lot of sense for ESPN to play up the American. If they have exclusive rights to the American's contract, and they don't have the Pac-12 late night, and they don't have the Big Ten at noon, why wouldn't you play up the American as the next big conference this fall to help yourself?
So, but what's the ESPN? ESPN's going to have the night SEC game.
Yeah.
Like they've always had. And they'll probably, I could see them starting a Houston or Tulsa game out there at like a 9 o'clock Eastern kickoff, 9:30 Eastern. But yeah, you're right. Like, what do they have? Do they sometimes have Big Ten in the 3:30 slot as well? What's usually 3:30 on ESPN on Saturdays?
It's just you get a lot of ACC in that 3:30, like ABC kickoff, ESPN2.
But there's also like there'll be a Michigan State Penn State game in that ABC ESPN. So they could put some games there too. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Fox would have I feel like they would have the big game of the week and maybe another nighttime game, but then you would have those like Northwestern with noon. So
the Deuce.
You just have that void now. You got so many voids. So I really think it's a big deal for the American. And even though they might not, the schools of the conference, including ECU, might not stand to make that much money, if any, if there are no fans at games this year. But I think the long-term benefit of finding a way to play this fall, if they can get a season in, would be huge, because all of a sudden, if you're just a casual college football fan, none of those guys know who Dylan Gabriel or Holton Ahlers or Brady White from Memphis. None of those fans know who these guys are, because they're not on primetime TV. And now you have that opportunity that you could get some eyeballs there.
Yeah, and it can be kind of corny too. We need a gimmick like Maction or Fun Belt, and we don't take those schools real seriously, but we know that like midweek it's going to be on every week.
Yeah.
We need to carve out our own little niche time slot for the AAC, something that maybe could stick even back when things are back to normal. I don't know what it could be.
I agree. I mean, for a while, the last few years, you had some good Friday night games, like UCF, Cincinnati, Tulsa, SMU. Like, I remember some Houston would play Friday nights. Like, that was a pretty good niche for the American. So maybe they can continue with that, or even get some more Thursday night games.
All right, let's take a timeout. As we go to break, we will reward you for tuning in to Pirate Radio Live today. Let's open up the booty bag, Shirley.
Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere.
We will give away a $10 gift card to Pops Old Fashioned Burgers. Shirley, is a big fan of the hamburger steak, although she said she almost went lasagna today. Decided to stick with the hamburger steak.
Yeah, that was the special for the day, was a meat lasagna with garlic bread, and I almost went with it, but then I saw the hamburger steak, and I was like, yeah, I got to do that.
It's never done you wrong before, and it didn't do you wrong today. So a lot of great options at Pop's Old Fashioned Burgers. 317-1250. We'll go caller 12. If you have not won this month, you are eligible to win the prize today, a $10 gift card to Pop's. 317-1250. Caller 12. We'll have more with Stephen Igoe after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Buick GMC Truck. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood is employee pricing on all Buicks and GMC SUVs, including Canyon, with the purchase and lease options. Remember, Brown & Wood is the home for the lifetime powertrain warranty for all makes and models.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
Know what I like most about my new phone from US Cellular?
I don't know.
That it was $700 off.
What? Switch to US Cellular and get $700 off the latest phones. US Cellular. Choose fair.
Promotional pricing requires an unlimited everyday or even better plan. New line, port in, credit approval, qualified smartphone purchase, and comes via monthly bill credit on a 30-month retail installment contract. Taxes, fees, and additional restrictions apply.
Does the idea of going to your local U.S. Cellular store make you feel a bit uncomfortable? Tired of the hassle of waiting and wearing a mask? Let Toby Williams and his outside sales team take away that worry. They will come right to your home or office and drop your phone off on the porch or at the front desk for you. Saving you time and worry is what the team at Cellular Warehouse is all about. Call Toby today at 252-799-7051 and let them help you with all of your wireless needs. Cellular Warehouse, your local U.S. Cellular authorized agent.
Are you trying to reduce clutter? Want to save a tree? Greenville Utilities can help. E-bill is a simple solution. Imagine getting an email letting you know your bill is ready. And with a few clicks on your computer or smartphone, you can review and pay your bill. It's just that easy. Signing up is simple. All you need to do is to log on to your account at guc.com and update your contact information and e-bill setting. You can even continue to receive a paper bill if you'd like. E-bill from Greenville Utilities. Just one of the ways GUC is here for you.
CPW's is currently open 7 days a week, with the bar opening daily at 3 p.m. for cocktails and appetizers, and for dinner starting at 4 p.m. Every Monday and Tuesday at CPW's, receive a free appetizer of your choice when you purchase 2 dinner entrees. The dining room is also available during lunch hours and weekends for private dining, meetings, and events. CPW's also offers drop-off caterings for luncheons, employee appreciation events, weddings, showers, and reunion dinners. CPW's is now offering our streamlined dining room menu of classics and favorites. If there's a legacy menu item that you miss, just ask and we'll do our best to prepare it for you. And for carryout, try easy online ordering at cpws.biz and save 10% off your order just for trying it out. Come see what we're all about. CPW's, corner of Stantonsburg Road and Arlington Boulevard in the Stanton Square Shopping Center, Greenville.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
It's almost quitting time, but your family's hunger is gearing up for the night shift. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, sector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. Or you could drop a big bow box on it. Because whether you need an 8, 12, or 20 piece with biscuits, fixins, and tea, you can clock out and spend some quality time with a delicious dinner. Now when it comes to sneaking a biscuit on the drive home, that's all you. Bojangles, it's bow time.
Pirate Radio.
If you're going to put your name on something, it better be your best work.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. From sales to service, Greenville Auto World has all of your vehicle needs covered. Shop all their inventory now at greenvilleautoworld.net. If you're also looking for someone to service your vehicle, Greenville Auto World has a full service and repair facility. They do brakes, oil changes, tires, inspections, and they can repair any kind of vehicle. Greenville Auto World across from Speedway at Bells Fork and online at greenvilleautoworld.net. Thanks to Tim Sutton and Jim Rogers of Greenville Auto World. Now let's head back in to Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Brock.
All right, back with you on Pirate Radio Live on a Tuesday. Thanks for tuning in. Planning to talk to a couple of ECU assistant coaches on Wednesday. Steve Rockefort, ECU assistant basketball coach, going to join us inside the Pirate Radio studios, and also Jason Hamilton, head women's soccer coach, and the Hammer Hamilton was scheduled to come on before the news came out today, and I'm assuming we'll still be able to talk to him. He'll, I'm sure, be disappointed that women's soccer, volleyball pushed back to the spring. Football is still a go for now, although football on a pause right now when it comes to practice. Our winner, by the way, congratulations to Chris. Did you say Chris?
Chris Martin from Winterville.
Now, is this the guy from Coldplay or the Braves pitcher?
Neither one of those.
Oh, a different Chris Martin. All right, congratulations, Chris, for your gift card victory today on Pirate Radio Live. We'll open up the booty bag once again coming up on Wednesday when we have Coach Rock and also Jason Hamilton joining us, and Bryce Williams going to join us on Wednesday. Wager McGee going to stop by as well. So a big Wednesday edition of Pirate Radio Live on tap. On Thursday, Igoe will join me in the 4 o'clock hour, and Igoe, we will have a special guest that you have lined up for us this week.
Yes, this person reached out to me about wanting to do an interview, and his name is Brandon Sneed. He is the author of a Lincoln Riley biography called Sooner. And, of course, you know, the majority of the book is about Oklahoma, his time at Oklahoma, but there are a few chapters about Lincoln Riley's time at East Carolina. And I think Brandon lives in eastern North Carolina, so we will be catching up with him.
Cool.
On Thursday, and excited to talk about, you know, the ECU chapters and just kind of his story. Of course, we all got to know Lincoln pretty well when he was here for a number of years, and he's had such a meteoric rise. I mean, really, this is just the start of his biography, but I think it covers just how quickly he moved up the ladder, and I'm sure it hits on some of his background with Ruff McNeil and coming here to take that job. So excited to have Brandon on Thursday.
And Igoe, we will be talking about the return of practice for ECU, right?
I hope so.
It's a chance, not a guarantee, but hopeful that the guys will be hitting the practice field. Of course, another news item from last night / this morning, Igoe, NC State taking a pause with their athletics. So a little alarming when you're having to take a pause this close to the start of the season. But, again, we've seen other schools do it. This is the second time ECU has been through a pause during this whole ordeal. So, hopefully they'll be back on the field.
UNC has paused multiple times now. ECU has paused multiple times. NC State has paused. Appalachian State has paused. We haven't heard Charlotte or Duke or Wake. But, you know, Duke and Wake, being private schools, usually keep to themselves regardless. But, yeah, I mean, it's just... I would venture to say, you know, I don't know the exact statistics, but I would bet at least half of college football has had at least some sort of pause, whether they've announced it or not, this preseason. Yeah. It's just, if they're doing things by the book, right, I think it's just inevitable given the nature of things.
We were talking about TV last segment, and, you know, when is a full or at least a part of a TV schedule going to come out for these college football games? Well, Igoe, you do have an update. You do have ESPN's college football schedule for 2020. What does it say?
I do. I did a lot of heavy digging on this one and came up with the 2020 ESPN college football schedule. So, yes, we did confirm BYU at Navy Monday, September 7th, 8 p.m., front and center on ESPN. So that is awesome. A great start to the season.
What's after that?
After that, funny you mentioned that, Friday, January 1st. To be determined versus to be determined.
January 1st.
To be determined versus to be determined at to be announced. But it will be on ESPN.
Okay.
Also on January 1st, we have another TBD versus TBD. A time TBA.
A TBD versus TBA doubleheader on January 1st.
I would assume that is the college football playoff opening round. And then we move further down the schedule to Monday, January 11th. Again, TBD versus TBD.
TBA.
At a time, TBA. So
that's your full ESPN college football schedule. Ugh.
A loaded slate.
By the way, that is not true. I just saw it is true that you read that from ESPN.com, but no respect at all to Austin Peay Central Arkansas kicking off 9 o'clock this Saturday on ESPN.
Yeah, I did say the college football schedule 2020, not the FBS schedule. So,
Correct.
I mean, it should have that game up there.
Correct. Igoe, let's talk a little hoops. You said on my bi-weekly Igoe, are you available today at 5? And you said, of course, Clip, anything for you. Love the listeners, love Pirate Radio.
Definitely exactly what I said.
You say it every week.
Word for word.
And you also mentioned excited to talk hoops recruiting.
Absolutely, man.
So talked to Seymour earlier. Got us all in a good mood. Great to hear from Cy. Not a big sci-fi fan, we found out earlier. Is a James Bond fan, we found out earlier. But mentioned...
So is James Bond considered...
Are there sci-fi elements?
I feel like there's the dude named Jaws who just like bites through rope and people. I feel like that's somewhat sci-fi.
Is that humanly possible in our normal world?
I guess if you have all fake teeth, but how realistic is it really?
All of my James Bond knowledge comes from Austin Powers movies, which are kind of,
they have some
parodies.
Elements.
Elephants. They're firing lasers.
You didn't see the elephant episode of Austin Powers?
So I don't know. Anyway, where were we? Oh, basketball. I had mentioned that when you bring a guy like Noah Farrakhan in, who has a high profile, whether it be from his basketball playing or his relationship with rappers, or I don't know how he's famous.
Do you know how many followers? Sorry to keep interrupting you.
That's what this show is.
We're trying to kill time. So, do you know how many followers Noah Farrakhan has on Instagram?
75,000.
369,000 at last check.
Nice. That's a lot of followers.
It is.
And it is because of why?
I don't really know.
But he's got a
persona.
It's not just basketball. It's like a music thing too.
Yeah, I think he's
got like a Damian Lillard thing going.
I guess so, and he hangs out with a lot of famous people.
There is a post that he has that John Morant commented on it, and he has a lot of clout.
That's pretty cool.
359,000. Sorry, I was a little overzealous, but it says he's posted 11 times. He's got 359,000 followers. So
that post to follower ratio is Hall of Fame level. That's awesome. Now you just delete. That's all, folks. Did he delete a lot of those posts?
I'm gonna assume so because his last post, it says January 2nd. I think he deleted some, but he's got his SoundCloud in his bio, so I guess he does dabble in some sort of music territory. Right. I'll be honest. I know more about Noah Farrakhan, the basketball player, than Noah Farrakhan, the artist.
Let's go back to the entertainment desk with Chandler.
He posted a picture of him in his ECU basketball practice uniform, and he got over 29,000 likes on that picture.
Now, that can't be all Pirate supporters and fans, so that is pretty cool. My point being to all of this is when you bring in a high-profile guy like that, I would imagine it gets other guys thinking and looking and saying, East Carolina, huh? And part of it is the basketball ability, but part of it is the notoriety and everything. And has that helped Igoe with these recent commits that ECU's been getting in basketball?
I definitely think it's helped at least a little bit. I don't think it was the clincher, so to speak, but I think it helped ECU get its foot in the door with the number of prospects, some that they're still recruiting, especially in the Northeast. I talked to a fellow Pennsylvania recruit back in March, and he was very high on Farrakhan going there. Said he kind of grew up with him and playing with him, so that was a big deal for him. So it's definitely helped. The name helps, and I think you've seen a majority of offered prospects, committed prospects, mention his name, and so it is a big deal. I think anytime you name land a name recruit like that, it's going to go a long ways in terms of everything. And everything I'm hearing about Farrakhan, the player, is, he's shown a lot of ability in practice, very talented, fast twitch kid who can jump out of the gym, even though he's a little undersized, needs to get stronger. But he's got the ability. He's just got to put it all together.
Seymour loves every player, but seemed to really love the Felton kid that committed to ECU.
Yeah, RJ Felton, his real first name is Russell, but goes by RJ. His first cousin is DJ Swearinger.
Holy crap. All right, I love this kid.
So he's
not going to mouth off after every play like DJ Swearinger, is he?
I was talking to his high school coach today. He says he's a pretty quiet kid, but he does get competitive and he doesn't mind jawing. He actually is, his coach was telling me he played defensive end in high school and was a dang good defensive end, talking about Russell Felton. So, and he plays point guard, shooting guard. So you're talking about a 6'4", close to 200-pound kid who's physical. He puts his head down, can drive to the rim. He can really shoot it, really underrated shooter. Just a solid all-around player. And everybody I talk to, whether they're directly affiliated with RJ or not, extremely high on his work ethic. Sounds like a guy who just stays in the gym, loves basketball, and sometimes that will take your game to the next level. We saw it with Jaden Gardner. I see similar. They both have similar offer lists coming out of high school, and I think RJ would have probably gotten more offers if he would have waited. But I think Jaden committed around this time, and VCU, some other strong regional programs were in on him. But hard worker, going to get the most out of his ability. I think it's definitely a steal for ECU on the perimeter.
And just because, I brought up Farrakhan and Felton, I don't want people to think I forgot about Dre.
Yeah, Dre. What's his last name?
I don't know.
Dre Watson.
His first. Thank you. So nowadays, everybody wants to talk. Like they got something to say. But nothing comes out when they move their lips.
Just going to keep going?
Just a bunch of gibberish. And people act like they forgot about Dre. His first name, though, is Dondre.
That's his real first name.
Dondre goes by Dre?
Prefers to go by Dre. Dre Watson, 6'8", 6'9", power forward-ish type player, can step out, shoot the J. More of a athlete. He's only been playing basketball, he told me, for 3 full years or going on his 3rd full year, so he's still got some major upside. But, he was telling me he had offers from Virginia Tech, Tulsa, Arkansas, Marshall, a few others were in there as well. So, and some other big schools were calling, like Maryland, Pittsburgh. I think Georgia Tech were starting to call and make a move for him, and it sounded like ECU just kind of ramped it up and got him committed before some other schools could offer. So, big time talent. I really like both these kids. You got Dre, who's playing in North Carolina. I think he's originally from New York, but essentially a North Carolina kid these last few years. ECU scouted him in the past, and then of course RJ from South Carolina, who was born and raised there. 2 good regional kids. So
great basketball update with Stephen Igoe. Shirley, did I forget about the quick segment at the top of the show today? Oh man, so we're tied.
We are officially tied.
Although you forgot about it too.
No, I didn't. I just figured you.
No, yes. Whoa.
No, I didn't forget. I just failed to remind you.
Okay. All right, I'll take it.
I remembered.
So we got breaks. So let's take one right here. More to go with Stephen Igoe, Hoist the Colors, as Shirley and I are now tied for forgetting to take the early break in the 5 o'clock hour. If you're scoring at home. Back with more after this.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Troy D. Proud to be co-founder, one of the owners and operators of Pirate Radio. As we launch into our 18th year of business, we have a lot of exciting news to share. Our afternoon drive show, PRL, Pirate Radio Live, has a new look and is now streaming live every day from our brand new digital studio from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can find us on our Pirate Radio YouTube page and our Facebook page, plus our website, pr927fm.com. If you're in your car, put us on 92.7 FM in Greenville or 104.1 FM in Washington. The new and improved 3-hour Hour PRL is hosted by Clip Rock and Shirley Rhodes and will feature the latest breaking news, awesome guests, and your favorite Pirate Radio personalities like The Voice Jeff Charles, Brian Bailey, Stephen Igoe, Billy Weaver, Brian North, Tony Collins, Bryce Williams, Ronnie Woodward, Morgan Ehlers, Mike Mullis, plus Ellerbe and myself. Give us a follow on social media at PR927FM and get the latest programming updates, guest alerts, and breaking news. Thank you for your loyalty and your support, and we hope you enjoy the new and improved Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
Back to school is here, and the Auto Store Group is committed to helping our customers drive the best quality pre-owned vehicles and is committed to caring about our kids and our community. This is Bryce Williams from the Auto Store Group, and right now during our Backpack to School event, every time we sell a vehicle, we'll be making a $50 donation to any local school that the customer chooses. The Auto Store Group, 3 locations, over 150 vehicles online at theautostoregroup.com, and most importantly, proud members of the Eastern North Carolina community for over 38 years.
With rates being historically low, now is the best time to buy or refinance your home. This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. Now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity to buy more home or refinance your current mortgage. The combination of our local team's experience and Angel Oak's wide offerings of products from standard conventional, government, and portfolio loans has something for most financial situations. For more information, call Talbot Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250 and 685-842. Equal housing lender.
North Carolina state parks are now open for visitors. Parks should be used for exercise, fresh air, getting out in nature, or a day trip as the state safely reopens. Visitors should enjoy themselves, but please remember the 3 W's. Wear face coverings, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Focus on moving through the park, keep social distancing in mind, and avoid large groups. While most facilities and activities will be open, please contact any state park before your visit with questions or visit ncparks.gov/open.
How much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC, because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals, reliable for over 4 decades. Visit delcorinc.com today.
Got big dreams for your small business? You're not alone. The Gavigan Agency Insurance Services is a growing business too. That's why they work with Nationwide, the #1 small total business insurer in the U.S. Nationwide can help protect and grow your business so you can focus on making your small business dreams come true. Give the Gavigan Agency Insurance Services a call today at 252-756-1400. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and Affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Subject to underwriting guidelines, review, and approval.
This is Coach Gary Overton, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Taking a look at your stock market report, the Dow slipped 60 points and closed out at 28,248. The NASDAQ is up 86, though, at 11,466, and the S&P was up 12 points and closed today at 3,443. That's your Wells Fargo Advisors financial report. For a personal look into investing, call Wells Fargo Advisors today at 756-6900 in Greenville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC. And as we head back into Pirate Radio Live clip, I do have...
it always makes me nervous when Shirley says, and as we head back in. But it's not always bad news. It just makes me nervous, Shirley.
Yeah, it does make you nervous, but I promise you this is positive news, or potentially positive news, I should say. Pirate Radio just tweeted out just a few minutes ago that the 49ers are going to be working out Justin Hardy. So they are in need of some wide receivers over there in San Francisco. So we'll see if he gets signed.
Catching balls from Jimmy G.
Yep.
Guess what Igoe and I were just talking about during the break?
Oh, Justin Hardy.
Igoe said, why are Dwayne Harris and Justin Hardy not on NFL rosters?
The Ravens didn't sign him. They worked out Dwayne, and they didn't sign him. So
I still feel like there's a place in the NFL for Dwayne Harris for his leadership and special teams, right? I mean, his special teams ability.
Yeah, I mean,
cannot go overlooked.
He's 10 years in, and he's lasted longer than your average NFL player by a long time. And I think obviously when you're a special teams player, you rely on your speed, but Dwayne has always relied more on his toughness and physicality, which based on last year, I still think he has. It's just what team is searching for that type of player, and probably there's really not that many players across the league, a return man / kind of an all-around special teams guy. So
that will go and make your tackles on special teams too.
So I feel like somebody's got to get hurt at this stage for Dwayne to get a contract. I don't think he's going to go in and blow anybody away with a workout because he's not that type of player in the NFL. But and same with Justin. I feel like there are enough. Justin's kind of looked at as an average receiver at this point. I feel like there's enough average receivers in the league where there's going to have to be some injuries. He's going to have to get a shot and then prove himself from there to kind of stick.
We talked to, we being me, a former NFL player in the Pirate Radio Zoom room today. Big Willie Smith joined me. Great conversation. He is fun to talk to. Talked about his playing days at ECU. Came in as a defensive player, switched over to the offensive side of the ball. How many times have you heard that story at ECU? Talked about his NFL playing days. And I asked him the toughest guy he had to block in the NFL. Who do you think he said?
Von Miller.
That is correct. And you had the upper hand on that because you are a Broncos fan. But Willie played for the Redskins. Also, I want to say played for the Raiders. Or was it with the Chargers? Because he had cups of coffee with the Panthers, Chargers, Raiders. He did play for the Redskins, I know, but he played for one of those West teams as well.
He definitely played for the Raiders.
Yeah.
I think he played more briefly with the Chargers, but he played for both of them, so he got to go against Von Miller.
A lot of Von Miller.
Which is not fun, and he got to, I think he practiced with the Panthers, but I don't think he ever played with them. He got signed with them.
Who is the most likely NFL prospect on ECU's current roster?
C.J. Johnson.
Yeah. Just such a great playmaker.
C.J. Johnson and Mason Garcia.
Oh, wow. Really?
Just based off upside.
Yeah.
6'5", 225-pound quarterback who can run and throw it.
Now, again, he has not played a single snap.
Yeah.
But you're saying based off of what the NFL scouts like.
Yeah.
Prototypical size, big arm,
It's all about projection. So you have to look at projection and long-term upside. Like C.J. Johnson the same way. He's almost too big to be an NFL receiver, but if he gets in that 6'2", 220, 215 sweet spot, I think, and maintains his speed and physicality, like he looks like an NFL player.
Yeah.
When you see Mason Garcia in person, you're going to be like, that dude looks like a potential NFL player. I think Deontay Smith has a shot, but to me, he's got to be near 300 pounds, if not heavier, for NFL teams to sign him. He's 6'4". He's got really long arms, which help his case. It makes up for some of the, a lot of NFL teams look for that 6'6", 6'7" offensive tackle, or at least 6'5". But Deontay's got really long arms, which help him in pass pro. But there are a couple other guys, but a lot of these people are so young in their career.
Right.
And I think Holden Ayler's, you look at the size and his physicality, I think he's got a shot. I don't think he's going to be like a first or second round pick or anything, but I think if he has a productive next couple of years, he could certainly be a late pick based off his dual threat ability. He's got to keep coming along with, accuracy and consistency. But from what I've seen, this and heard this preseason and how he threw it late last year, I think he's made tremendous strides as a passer.
And I don't know who the folks are that do tweet these random tweets I see. They're not random. They follow the draft and follow college football. But it does seem like Holton Ahlers has started to catch the eye of outsiders, so to speak.
Yeah, I think they see the production in the second half of last season. I think the Cincinnati game, I mean, it's easy to say because he threw for like 6,000 yards in one game.
And somebody on the internet said they had the best secondary in the nation.
Yeah, I was going to say they've got the best secondary in the country. When you throw for 6,000 yards against that really opens a lot of eyes. But no, seriously, I mean,
6,000 is really a lot.
Yeah, I mean, in one game, it's crazy.
That's a record.
But you look at what Cincinnati's defense was able to do to UCF last year, and everybody just loves Dylan Gabriel this, Dylan Gabriel that from UCF. Like, to me, Holton Ahlers was night and day better than Dylan Gabriel against that same defense. So I think that speaks for itself. Now he's just got to get the consistency, and I think last year's confidence can help.
There's a weird lack of left-handed quarterbacks in the NFL. Maybe Tua is paving the way for guys like Ahlers and Gabriel and those guys.
You hope so, because it's just been so long. I feel like
it's weird, right?
Mike Vick and Tebow were the last two I can recall.
Yeah. And, Kellen Moore. Did he play? Wasn't he left-handed?
Yeah, he was, but he was
didn't really do anything.
He was more of a coordinator than a quarterback.
Shirley, let's get our final break in. We'll come back, wrap things up with Igoe on a Tuesday edition of Pirate Radio Live after this.
Here today with Splinter, also known as HB Moore to his friends and family. Why F3?
I've been coming to F3 for almost 5 years. After 15 plus years going to the gym with trainers and doing all kinds of stuff, there was something missing and I was bored, and these guys are just phenomenal. I know that I would lay in the bed at 5 o'clock in the morning if somebody hadn't called me the night before and say, hey, I'll see you in the morning. So it's critical to get up and get going, and great fun when you get here.
One letter, one number, F3. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
You know, texting while driving is dangerous. That's not new information. Yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance. The no problem people. Information provided by Virginia Tech Transportation Institute.
This is Norm Bryant with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates.
Your CBD store in Greenville has the highest quality CBD products in the country. Your CBD store is the first and only brand that carries USDA certified organic products such as gummies, honey sticks, and high absorption water-soluble liquids, which are all made in the United States. They even offer products for your pet. The educated staff will help you answer any questions, and you can stop in anytime to get a free sample. Your CBD store, locally owned and operated, open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, right beside Duck Donuts in Greenville.
This is Dr. Elizabeth Robinson with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our extended care clinic is open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UH Smith Boulevard. We treat a variety of urgent orthopedic conditions without an appointment. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at www.orthoeast.com.
At Tiebreakers, we admit we have a bit of a problem. People love our wings so much that they're starting to sell their home TVs just so they can watch all the sporting events here at Tiebreakers. Seriously, we're glad you love our hand-breaded and hand-cut boneless wings that much, but we really need you to go home at the end of the night. It's okay, we'll be here tomorrow. And when you come back, bring a friend with you. For great food, great friends, and cold beer, we'll see you at Tiebreakers. Tiebreakers, break the chain, eat local.
Do you think you or your employees might have been exposed to COVID-19? ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers same-day COVID-19 results. No referral needed. Same-day results available. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville offers easy employer solutions to COVID-19 testing. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville is located across from Vidant Hospital on Executive Circle behind Southern Bank. Call for an appointment or walk in. ArcPoint Labs of Greenville, 215-5688 or arcpointlabs.com.
UBE and PirateWear.com are proud to offer the Pirate Nation its largest inventory ever. Brand new Adidas is arriving daily, along with Under Armour, Columbia, and Russell Athletic. UBE is loaded with cargo, and new items are being added daily to PirateWear.com. Be sure to check out our children's store, The Crow's Nest, for all of your young pirates. UBE and PirateWear.com, an ECU tradition for 50 years. Go Pirates!
Over 32 years ago, the Ronald McDonald House of Eastern North Carolina opened its doors as a place to help families stay together and close to the care they need when they have a sick child. With the addition of a second Ronald McDonald House inside the Maynard Children's Hospital, our need to serve is greater than ever as the medical community flourishes. Help us expand our mission of keeping families close as we grow to meet that need. You can show your support by making a donation to the Ronald McDonald House. Visit our website today at rmhenc.org for more information. Thank you for your support.
Pirate Radio.
All of our last names are ECU.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to Hour 3 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour of PRL is brought to you by First National Bank. With approximately 100 locations throughout the Carolinas, First National Bank is helping both individuals and businesses redefine convenience in banking. Visit us today at fnb-online.com. First National Bank, member FDIC. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. and is the best place to watch your favorite sports while enjoying the best wings in town. Sandwiches, appetizers, cold beer, and more. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates. Now let's head back into Pirate Radio Live. Here's your host, Clip Rock.
All right, Igoe, count down the days to the first Bud Light pregame tailgate, and man, I am excited for it. Myself, Shirley Rhodes. Chan Man?
It's going to have a whole new look.
A whole new ball game, baby.
It's a big ball game. It's a big ball game.
It is a studio and a show fit for a big ball game, I would say.
And I'm down for it, and I'm ready for it. September 12th, baby. We got to get it here.
Let's get it. We do not know what time that show will be. Or what network the game will be on. But ECU and Marshall scheduled to play on September the 12th. Igoe, thanks for hanging out. Give us your 10-second pitch for what's going on right now to Hoist the Colors.
Well, we got a lot of basketball recruiting info because football is currently paused, but we'll have the latest on when football will return to action on hoistthecolors.net.
Well done. Thank you, Igoe. Thanks, Chan Man. Shirley, I'm Clip Rock. So long, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Pirate Radio Live, an exclusive presentation of the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is